And I'm back. Give y'all a nice little view of the beautiful city of Medellin tonight. Must say so. It's a pretty night tonight. Temperature's around 67. Feels rather good. Don't really need any air conditioning tonight, to be honest with you. For the past week, it's been like that in Medellin. I'll be honest with you. Beautiful skyline, beautiful valley. In the daytime, it's been hot as panther piss. That I will say. In the daytime, you do need some air conditioning around. Despite what others may say, the locals and whatnot. For me, I gotta have some air. But anyway, the basket in the glory. We can go ahead on and get down to the more of this story we got going on tonight. Basically, I want to discuss Milano. Oh man, what's happening with you, Milano? I see you, Playboy. Milano, the travel guy. Good to see you stop by, man. I'm about to talk about a topic tonight that you might be a little familiar with. You know, travelers going to these foreign places. Around people who may not be as fortunate as you, may be as fortunate, but for the most part, we do know that these countries are somewhat not as financially or do not have the economic power that our country has. So they're a little bit less fortunate, you know. So, hey, who knows, you know, but when you go to these places and you have these things, you're making yourself a target. So we're gonna unpack that. We're gonna get in that. Now, I'm in Medellin right now. I was in Cartagena, and the things that I saw in Cartagena is what kind of made me lean towards making this video that I'm making tonight for y'all to listen to. So y'all tune in right quick. You know, pull up a chair, and if you don't catch the live here, just listen to it later. You know. And if you share my opinions or whatnot, hey, chime in, leave a message or not, you know. This is something I thought as though I had to share with you guys. So, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes. So, I'm going to give y'all a little backdrop. Last week, I touched down in CTG. I was out there for a week. I was staying by the beach. Now, on the plane, I noticed a lot of my people was on there. You know, a lot of my people was on the plane, and a lot of females were on the plane as well, you know. And of course, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, you know, OW, he old bargain basement ass Negro, you know what I'm saying? He ain't flying United or Delta or none of that. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I do take Delta to go to Brazil, but if I'm just coming to take a 2-hour flight to somewhere in South America like this here, I'm gonna pay the cheapest price. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I was on Spirit. That's right, damn straight. I was on Spirit. By the time the seat got warm, the pilot was saying that we were declining. We were starting our descent into Cartagena. So I'm like, cool, you there? I'm looking around, I'm listening and shit, you know, every now and then you dig. And I'm like, man, look why you motherfuckers got Louis bags and Louis hats and some names or some other shit. I ain't never Fendi, Fendi or some shit like that, flip flops on, you know. Uh They ain't even lying. Motherfuckers checking in 2 and 3 bags of luggage. So I'm thinking, well, damn, they bringing all that luggage. What's gonna be living out here, you know? But through listening and you know just peeping out conversations, they was bringing all that fucking extra just for 3 or 4 days. Now I'm saying to myself, I'm gonna be out here a whole fucking week, and all I got is 2 bags. These motherfuckers got 2 check-in bags and like 2 carry-on bags. What you do? What you need all that shit for? But I like, you know, so big, whatever. No, it really wasn't. I can't, you know, spend nobody else's money. But at the same time, though, I know they got these big ass bags with all this shit in here. You know, they're gonna be wearing it, and it's gonna be extra. You're gonna be loud. People are gonna see that you have all this extra shit. You know, so people see that you got extra shit. That means you must got some extra money. Who knows? Just saying. This is the assumptions that I'm making because I do have somewhat of a criminal mind, you know, not saying I'm a criminal, but you know, I guess God, it's just like common sense shit kick in. They got all this shit, they get off the plane, you know. I go to the hood. Well, I ain't gonna say the hood. I'm gonna say I go by the beach area. I was staying, you know, right off the beach. I was staying in La Guito. You know, like most of the tourists or whatnot, that's the areas they're gonna go to. They're gonna go to the Wall City. They're gonna go to Boca Grande or they're gonna go to La Guita. You know what I'm saying? And I do have a guess. Give me one moment. Bam.
What's up with y'all?
We're gonna welcome Johnny Raw Dog Oh shit, Johnny Raw Dog LA to the building. What's happening, Playboy?
Oh, what's up with you? How you doing?
Man, I can't call it cousin. You know how it is. Another day, you heard?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, yes. It's been a minute since we've done a live together. It's been amazing here. All good things got to come to an end soon. Uh,
Yeah.
but I will say, I've had an excellent time. I will be back. Um, and going off of what you were, adding earlier, especially in Cartagena, all these gringos, just I'm gonna keep it PG. Um, I'm just gonna say that they're ruining prices, and it's unfortunate that they're ruining it. And like I said, please, please, please stay in the USA. I don't want to have to hunt you guys down. Please, please, just stay in the US because you guys don't understand what you're doing to the market.
Yes, they are actually destroying a good market, but what can we do, man? What can we do?
Well, here's my thing. All right. Like I said, everybody gonna have their opinions. My opinion is this: please, please, I don't, I don't ever tell no one what to do with their money. But if you're gonna do that, do it in a different place. Don't do it in Colombia. Just don't, because how you act and how you represent every other traveler. And shout
Well,
out
I
to
can
Milano
agree.
the Travel Boy real quick. Yeah, please hit that
Yeah,
like button.
yeah, hit that like button, but hit that like button. They got 7 people in here. Y'all can just donate at least 7 likes. That'll make OW very, very happy. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know. But to piggyback off what you said though, and even in DR, because I have the privilege of talking to some of the ladies who are out there, pro, non-pro, whatever you want to call them or whatnot, and they have actually targeted African American men out there in some of those areas, namely Sasua. You know what I'm saying? And I actually talked to a young lady, and she even said it. She was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't like to go down there, but a lot of my girls say, they really have a disdain for them. They really don't respect you in that manner. So that's the reason why guys are going out there right now. And I'm in several groups or whatnot, and all of them complaining about the same thing. Man, bro, motherfuckers telling me they want $100. They don't even talking pesos no more. They want dollars. You know what I'm saying, bro? And I'd be like, well, you pretty much painted yourself into that box. You and people of your ilk or whatnot. You want to go down there and chuck your money in the sky and so forth and so forth. And you would think that you don't have there isn't an outcome or a reaction, to what you're doing, but clearly there is. And now that's the reason why they treat you the way they do. They just come up to you, they give you bad service, they demand dollars, and whether you're satisfied or not really doesn't matter to them, and they all share information. Just like we have WhatsApp groups, they have WhatsApp groups. They also have Facebook groups that they coordinate and talk. Believe it or not, a couple of you Negroes' pictures is in these groups. A girl that said, "Yeah, I got him for X amount of dollars." You see him in the streets, you want his number, girl, hit him up. And that's that you're actually being hunted. And some of these guys' minds, they think they're going down there hunting the women, but they're actually the fucking prey. That's the scary part about it when you don't even know you're being hunted. A fucking deer in the forest knows there's a fucking predator out there trying to get him. These guys going down there and they don't even know they're being preyed upon, but they still complain about it. And what most of that is done by you bringing all that extra down there. So you want to go down there with your gold chain, you want to go down there with your Rolex watch, you want to go down there with your $300 Jordans, but in the same fucking breath, you complain when someone asks you for $100, but you got $500 worth of clothes on. Just think about the mentality of that person that thinks that shit. So you're going down there looking like money, but you don't want nobody to ask you for no money.
Make that make sense.
You know what? That shit makes sense. Exactly.
I got something to say, and I'm sorry that I'm not sorry for what I'm about to say. I don't understand why we have travelers in the group that are going down there and just and messing with these burnt Haitians. I don't get it. You know, you are paying 100 USD. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that video that I was floating around about the dude that paid. Oh, girl, I really wish I could find out who he is or what his name is, because I would really love to slap some sense into him, because that didn't make no sense to me. You settled for that. We're gonna call them that. THAT in caps. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. In that case, you could have stayed right here in the U.S. No, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not in the U.S. right now. You could have stayed in the United States of America, went on eRose.com and paid one of them hoes that much money. Why would you go to the DR and do that? Why? I want to ask this man that. You know, because you set the wrong example. You just messing with burnt Krispies. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. We leave the country to be with exotic and beautiful women. That is not beautiful. It's not elegant.
Hey man, that's an argument to be had, bro. Because I know a couple of folks, they like them earthworm gems, man. Like, well, you know, that's all they didn't have their whole life. So that's what they're used to, you know. Some people, you know, that's like some women, you know, they don't feel comfortable around, you know, other women who are very attractive and whatnot. You know? And I guess when it comes down to a man, they're somewhat, when they go around these beautiful exotic women, they see it and they think they want it. And when they get around them, it makes them uncomfortable. They get anxiety. So when they get around women who may or not be as attractive, what they're used to or whatever, they're more relaxed and they move forward with that as opposed to beautiful women. I mean, and all this is speculation because I could never actually know what goes through a motherfucker mind that flies 1,000 miles to go fucking sleep with a hedgehog. You know what I'm saying? Water hog, hedgehog, cave dweller, whatever. You know, I can't wrap my mind around it because I can't think that far because I know I do. But there are actually people that do that. You know, they find pleasure in that shit. You know, they will spend good money, $800, $900 on a plane ticket to, you know, go hump on wildebeest. Who knows?
I'm sorry. I need to answer Eddie J real quick. He said, "What's good, OW?" in the chat. Johnny LA, did you make it to Brazil? No, sir, I have not. But my birthday, I will be going to Brazil, and I will be bargain basing. I will be paying in Brazilianites, whatever they call it out there. I will not be using USD.
Hayites.
That's right. Yeah, I done had a couple of drinks, so you got to excuse my tone. But
that's a problem.
And also to add on to what you were mentioning about Cartagena and the airport thing, believe what this man is saying. Please believe what this man is saying. I had to sit outside for an hour and 10 minutes. And do not, whatever you do not go past that checkout time at Airbnb. As a matter of fact, I got to give that hotel a bad review when we get off this live because they tried charging me an additional for staying over 30 minutes. So,
damn.
They tried. They tried.
Damn, bro. That's some real inconsiderate shit, man. 30 minutes, man. You could have forgot your wallet or something. You went back in there. That goes to show you, man. A lot of these people, man, they're really money hungry. Anything they could do to get an extra buck, you know. And the crazy part about that room was already rented out for that day, more than likely. So he was already paid for it. So he was trying to make a double up. He was trying to get an extra day off of you and day off the next person.
Something else I want to give some knowledge on, which I normally don't give advice. I usually let travelers fall on their feet, but I'm gonna give some advice today. When you are in Cartagena, and this is something that I had to learn, so I'm very picky on my Airbnbs. This particular Airbnb I actually got a very nice area, but they decided to leave out some information. So please make sure you use pesos and not USD because you will get got. I can't explain how many times I got to repeat that. Please use pesos and not USD. I got some clothes washed. The girl tried charging me $10 in USD, but in reality, it was 30,000 pesos. The currency, if you swap it over, it's $7.74. Yeah, you may be like, you know what? I don't care about $3, but guess what? That $3 can get you an ice cream. That $3 can get you an extra 30 minutes with the girl in the room. It could do anything. So please, please,
Only
just
Johnny. Only fucking Johnny. You say extra 30 minutes. Well, you a bad man, boy. Yeah,
I'm just
boy.
saying, please watch what you do out here, please, because they will get you.
Yeah, they will get you, man. You gotta look at when their currency is dropping like that too. Like I don't know if y'all watch currency exchanges or not, but I know me and Johnny, we watch that shit like fucking wolves. You know, I mean, I watch the currency exchange probably every 2 or 3 days. I even watch the futures. So like if I know I have a trip coming up, let's say in 12 days, there's actually a website you could go to and you can actually see what the future currency exchange will be for when your arrival date is. And when the currency is dropping, the moral of my story, when the currency is dropping like that, things for them to buy them, it actually costs more. That means it shows that the currency is in distress in the country, and it shows that it's some type of economic distress that that particular country is going through. So people are going to be a little bit more desperate than usual. I'm just saying. You can see that in Brazil right now. The shit's like $5 and some change. When I went to Brazil, it was $4, and that was just what in 20. I think I went to Brazil in 19, maybe. I went to Brazil in 18 or 19, and just think that the currency has went from $4 to $5 and some change in those 2 year time span. So, what do you think the economy is going to look like in Brazil? Let's just say 2023, and the fucking Hayite is 6 to 1. Just imagine that shit. I mean, it's fucking terrible. So they're having less buying power. Just like when our dollar drops, our dollar gets weaker, we have less buying power. The same thing happens to them, but what's happening to them in these countries is typically on fucking steroids.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And that's another thing too. You know, when you travel into these countries, like I said, it just makes no sense to me why these travelers. I'm not gonna say brothers because you also have whites, you have Hispanics traveling out the country that don't do research. Why would you use USD in another country? Why? Make it make sense. Why? Why would you make sense?
Um,
I don't know how much I don't know if I gotta translate this shit in Spanish. Por qué? Por qué? Por qué? Why? Why would you do that? Um, this is what
Vagos,
yeah.
lazy
And I'm
bones.
gonna tell you something. I don't have the best Spanish in the world. I can get around. Here's the thing. You put a target on your back. Matter of fact, I think OW, did you tell me about an article what was it, yesterday or today, about a guy in the Larelas area got robbed in broad daylight, correct?
Oh yeah, I did tell you about that. There was a guy in Larelas today, and he was just walking around minding his fucking business, right? Not the irony of this whole story is the fact that he gets robbed. Because as we all know, if you're an avid traveler and you pay attention even to a little bit of fucking international news, robbings and shit happening in Medellin. But the irony of the situation, what the man said was, while he was being robbed, there were several other Colombians on the same street walking by as if nothing was fucking taking place. That was the irony of this shit. These people, it's like they're almost desensitized to this shit. They're walking down the street and they say, well, we know today's the day a gringo will get robbed. We don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be a gringo. Ha ha. Oh, there goes the gringo getting robbed. Let me keep walking. Maybe let me walk a little quicker before they try and come get my purse. So the man, it wasn't like you would think in your head, okay, it's asshole. Like you see these other guys and whatnot that's on YouTube going to these quote unquote dangerous places, and they have other people who want to follow in line and go to these barrios at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, fucking good well, you ain't got no business being out there. You speak 8 words in Spanish and you're just out there just to say you was out there. Well, you can see a person like that putting themselves in a bad situation and something happens to them. Okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You was asking for that shit. You're in a strata 6. No, I'm sorry, Plebado was strata 6. I think Loretta's is a strata 4 or 5. Don't quote me on it. It's definitely a 4 or 5. You're in a strata 4 or 5 area, walking down the street, broad daylight. From what I've understood, he had an iPhone. The iPhone was stolen from him. Maybe that may give or take, but I know other Colombians have iPhones too, so I wouldn't go far as saying that was the end all be all him getting robbed. He wasn't doing anything flashy. He wasn't throwing up fucking pesos in the sky. The man was walking down the fucking street trying to get him a fucking chocolate or some shit. These guys pull up on a fucking moto. 2 of them, as usual, that's what it is. It's a 2-man team. One pulls up with the bike. He cuts you off. The other one gets out, brandishes a firearm. And if you think about running, the other guy on the bike has a firearm as well. They told him to relieve himself of his worldly items. I'm sorry, I mean, they told him to relieve himself of his items and whatnot. People are walking by within 8 or 9 feet of him, and nothing. They take your shit and they just drive off to the sunset. And the thing about it, when it was all said and done, the guy said that he didn't even think to make a police report about it because he felt as though that the Colombian police here probably wouldn't have did much to help him anyway. And if you think about it, I mean, what was he going to say? Some guys pulled up on a motorbike and they robbed me. Well, what could you tell me about the assailants? They were Colombian. Okay, thank you, sir. We'll be sure to find them. And when we catch them, we'll let you know and return your stuff to you. What the fuck? You know what I mean? What do you do?
To be honest, I mean, you said it correctly. Go ahead and continue, cousin.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead on and get back to what I saw in Cartagena. I got a little sidetracked right there. So when I was going to the beach, I had met a young lady out there or whatnot. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go walk down here. We're going to go get I don't know. She drank alcohol. I just wanted me like a slushie or some shit. So as I'm walking down the beach, I'm in pretty much of a tourist area because I'm close to that Hilton out there. If anybody knows about Cartagena, there's a Hilton out there. And that's where you're more what they will say the well-to-do quote unquote Americans go at, you know, because those rooms there aren't cheap. They have a nice bar there, you know, that's located in the lower area. I went there. That's why I speak. I know it's a nice bar that's in the Hilton. And it's more like one of those 5-star places or whatnot. So as I'm walking down the street, I see this black couple coming down the street. And I'm thinking that in my first mind, my first thought goes, oh, they probably, you know, Afro-Colombian couple, you know, doing the thing. As they get closer, I hear him talking. And then I see a diamond, bling, like, Jesus Christ. Like, damn. I'm like, damn. Now, this is the thing I want to say about this in all due fairness. When we as Americans go to these other countries, it could be straight up Cuban, it could be straight up CZ that you got on. But by you being an American, they're going to think that is real. And when I say QCZ for slang, I'm going to let y'all know that's cubic zirconium, which y'all know that's a fake ass fucking diamond. Negroes back in 2000, 2003 circa, that shit was real popular in the club. Negroes will go buy corner store jewelry and go in the club and throw their wrist up in the air, you know, and make it seem like they were ballers or whatnot, but that shit only cost like $8 or $9. Yeah. Fast forward 2021. So I see them walking down the street with this shit on. So I'm like, damn, she got a ring on. He got 3 rings on. She got the watch. She got some Dooney and Burke, some Dolce Gabbana. And I'm counting them. I'm like, if this shit is even halfway real, I know one of these motherfuckers looking at them like a juicy ass T-bone walking down the street. I know the fuck I would if I was in their situation. I'm a person that make $400 a month working a normal job 6 days a week. You could even be a professional. We're going to say you're making $600 a month as a professional here. Most people don't. And I see this fucking gringo walking down the street with about $3,000 worth of shit on. What am I thinking to myself? if I could catch them at the right place at the wrong time, they got about Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Easter money around their motherfucking neck and hand. I could get them. I could do it. I could pull that shit off, you know? And these are the same people you fast forward and hear the stories about. They going back home talking about, oh, I hate this country. All they did was beg me. They caught me in the alley. They whooped me. My sleeves and shit are still in the fucking alley. They beat me so bad. Blah, blah, blah. The list goes fucking on. You know, I feel as though that I was targeted because I was American. And I'm like, no, asshole, you were targeted because you wanted to go out there and you had all that fucking extra. You should have left all that fucking extra at home. That's some American shit. You know, you need to have all that shit in America to draw attention to you, to get played, to get a woman, to get your dick sucked, to get some pussy. You know, that's some American shit. Same thing with the fucking women, because the women I saw out there, they was in their Sunday's best too. You know,
I'm sorry
and
to
ain't
cut
so
you
much
off.
what was the fucking jewelry that go along with the shit they were fucking wearing. You know, so, oh my, go ahead. What you got to say, cuz? What you
Oh no,
say?
I was actually going to add on to what you just said. I mean, it's correct. A lot of these people, what they don't realize, and I apologize from earlier, I had to get some stuff together. But here's the thing: Americans, they walk. I'm sorry, what's that saying? You crawl before you walk. When you leave the country, you have to remember you don't have power. And when you're going out there with gold chains, you're acting like you big and bad. You know, you um, you put a bad name out there. You put a target on your back. You also have to remember, and this is the part that we all have to remember. And I think you brought this back up in a couple of lives months ago. You know, it's a privilege for what we do. Without a passport, we can't do nothing, right?
Right.
So my thing is this: you leave the country, you have to remember you're going. It doesn't matter wherever you go, whether it's DR to Colombia to Brazil, hell to Manila, Philippines. All these places are third world countries. They don't have the same things we do. So when you're going out there with this stuff, not only can it be offensive to the wrong person, to the wrong group, to the wrong crowd, any of this can happen. So, you know, you have to take responsibility for that. So if you got targeted, if you got, well, you need to retrack your steps on what you did wrong. Bottom line. We've seen multiple stories, multiple channels of other people's lives. There was another recent situation. You know, if you're gonna be a player, how they call that? If you be a player, you're gonna have a wife at home. Make sure it's cleaned up. Just make sure it's cleaned up. That's another thing. You got American wannabe gangsters from New Orleans. I ain't gonna say no
Dog.
names.
Why I gotta be New Orleans, dog? Damn, bro. You could have said
Unfortunately,
Detroit or some shit, dog.
and just so y'all know, if anyone wants to go see, there's a video right now on another man's channel. And I'll let OW say it if he wants to say it. I ain't gonna say it because this ain't my live.
Well, I don't know who that.
All right, well, cool. Well, there's a video surfacing of an unfortunate soul from New Orleans that brought a Colombian to the States and had a wife at home and didn't clean up his mess. You know, you didn't use the Clorox. I don't know what to tell you. And I don't understand these people. Make it make sense to me. If you're gonna be a player, use Clorox, use the 100% bleach, wipe your shit up. Don't leave a mess. And unfortunately, this brother left a mess, and well, right now, for all we know, he could be locked up because he swung at the girl. You know, and my point to this is, if you're gonna
took a shot at her? He took a swing at her?
Absolutely. This unfortunate soul. And you know, unfortunately, I hate to say where he's from. He's from New Orleans, from typical Louisiana. I'm sorry if we got some Louisiana people in here, but your people are ghetto, from the ghetto.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm from the NO, dog. We some combative motherfuckers. I ain't gonna lie. Down to the female. We combative, dog. He's like, we fight first and talk later. We fight first and fuck later. That's just the mentality of these motherfuckers. It was something in the water. I think it's because we're around the Mississippi with that fucking boot. It's how we just came up. There's some combative bitches here. That's why I ain't got no old lady in New Orleans. Because when I did, man, shit always came down to fisticuffs. You did. We're gonna settle this with the hands. And I don't be about this shit. I don't want to play them people on their ass. Me, or I ain't going to jail. I'm gonna call the police first, bitch. Fuck that. You will sit your ass down somewhere. I ain't about that shit, bro. Fuck that. Oh, bro. But it was like when I was out there in Cartagena, that was just one. It was just one time I saw it. It was like the more I walked around, it was like the more I saw this shit. You know, like they was on full, like a big timers video. It got to the point to where I saw some people on the beach, right? And this was really killed me. This would set it off. But I was in my room at the time. I was looking down there, and I seen these people walk out clearly with fucking gringos. You know what I'm saying? Dude out on the fucking beach, like he had on some fucking Stacey Adams or some shit. You know, pants tucked in, long sleeve polo shirt, and the chick right along with him, like she's in the fucking ballroom ground or some shit. And I'm like, bro, y'all don't see all that sand down there on the beach? That shit dirty. And y'all out there taking pictures and shit on the beach, walking on the beach. And it's getting late. Now, this is something else that I was told from a local that I didn't know. And she told me when we was walking, she was like, oh, Chris, it's not good for you to be out here in the evening at night. She said, you see all those guys standing over there and around here? After 6 o'clock, they make you leave the beach because a lot of gringos was going back there before and it was getting robbed. And she says, there's no lights or nothing back there. And they're going to make a police report and they come back there and like, what do they see? It's nothing they could do about it, you know? And she said, they'll catch you back there after 6, 7 o'clock, you know, it's getting dark or whatever. You pull your ass over there in that fucking corner somewhere, turn your ass upside down, shake you up a little bit. If you get combative and you try and resist, it might get ugly for you. Who fucking knows? But this is from a lady who lives in Cartagena. This is what she told me. She's lived there her whole life. So it was getting close around 6 o'clock or 6ish. And mind you, my apartment was directly on the beach. And this girl still told me, it's time for us to go. We got to get from, can't be out here at night. Don't come out here at night. She said, somebody try to get you to come out here at night. They don't have your best interest in mind, or they trying to get you back here to do you something, you know, because it's no police presence back there at night. And even to reiterate what she's saying with the truth, at 6 o'clock, they had the police come out there in motorcycles and they start getting the people off the beach. You know, they come sit there, you know, on their little bikes with blow their little horn or whatever the fuck. And you see the little kids and stuff getting up off the beach. But just for general knowledge, you know, I mean, in Cartagena on the beach at night, I mean, I've heard people are going out on private beaches at night and stuff, but I wouldn't advise. If the local tells me don't do it, I'm not going to do it because I don't live. And I believe she had my best interest in mind. She didn't even want to go back there. She's like, you want to go put your feet in the water at night? She's like, oh, what's wrong with you? You crazy? She said, it's dangerous back there. You don't want to go back there. You're back there at night and say it's too dark. You just don't go walking back there in the beach like that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was told. But yeah, guys. I mean, if somebody just stumbling across this channel, it's y'all first time coming to OW channel, you know, like Dre said, you know, wipe your feet on the rug, hit the like button for your boy. You know, I'm just basically a person. I'm just trying to give information to people so you don't go out there and you become another number, another statistic. You know, you're gonna be the person that goes out there, the American that got they lick, you know, the American that got hit up. You know, I'm not gonna bring these people's names up or whatnot. I'll just say the particular areas it happened in: Cali, Colombia; Barranquilla, Colombia; Medellin, Colombia. In some cases, even in Bogota, Colombia, it's places that have been in the news recently for Americans either being robbed, losing their things, or even worse, losing their lives due to the fact that they want to have all that extra. You know, the best thing you could do here is when you come walk down the street, you don't really need a flashy watch on. Why? You got a phone. If you got $1,000 phone, leave it at home. If you got $1,000 to spend on that phone, I know you got 150 to go get a throwaway phone that you can walk around with. And if somebody say get up, you can give it to them kindly and go back home to your $1,000 phone. You're flying to a country with 3 and 4 bags of shit, and you're only going to be there for 3 or 4 days. You're trying to wear all this stuff to impress other people. you just made yourself the biggest fucking target there was in the whole city. And people are waiting. We call them the hounds. The hounds from Girktown. The hounds is waiting. Trust me, they're waiting. They're hungry out here right now. And you know, like a fat juicy steak, you're gonna get hit up. We just had an instance in I don't know if you heard about it, Johnny, in fucking in DR. The fucking police was corroborating with the local skin jean wearing motherfuckers, bachatas running around there, robbing motherfuckers, coming out the motherfucking bar. You heard about that shit? Damn. What happened? He must have hung up. Oh, damn. Well, my guest fell off. Hold on. Here we go. I didn't. Hold on. I got two other guests. Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, ain't nothing to it, brother. Hey, bro, I don't know if you've been back there for a while. I want to apologize because I'm not on my phone right now. I'm just on the headset, just talking, just rambling. But it's good to have you. I want to introduce Nick, the Worldly Traveler, to the show. It's a good friend of mine. Back when I first started traveling, he was somewhat of a mentor to me, helped me around the Medellin area. I met him today at Sweet Georgia Cafe. And he's just a good brother with plenty of traveling knowledge. I'd like to introduce Nick to the show. You can go ahead on tell the folks about yourself.
What's up? Johnny, I think wants you to put him back in the show, so he probably got cut off somehow.
Johnny, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here now.
Okay, back up. Yep. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry.
He was saying
Nick, I met him today for the first time, and very good brother. Like I said before, when you guys come down here, if there's any knowledge y'all need, please reach out to him. But patience is wearing thin, boys. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all just gonna get got. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was Yeah, Nick,
but, I was actually, I was going to jump in and say that, like when, what is it called? Bundunga, and it's called Devil's Breath. So I used to think that was all an urban legend. But when I came out here, I've been coming to Medellin for the past 3 years, and I met like 5 or 6 people that got hit by that stuff. So there's a lot of serious shit out there. If you don't pay attention to news and you don't keep yourself up to date what's going on when you're traveling, you can become a victim. And it's pretty easy to become a victim, of a crime or, some people do lose their lives, like that guy in Barranquilla. I think it was Barranquilla, got shot and killed and stuff when he was opening up that restaurant and everything.
Exactly.
So he was out there to do business. So, like you say, that people think that some stuff's an urban legend, like this, it's called scopolamina is the Spanish word for it. It's a form of a natural form of scopolamine, but they can put it in your drinks. Girls can put it in their hair, and then you start sniffing the hair, put it on their bodies, and it knocks you out, right? It hypnotizes you. So, I met 5 people like in Medellin got hit. In Laureles got hit by that stuff. So, and then the other thing that people do is they, a lot of guys got to watch out with that Tinder date shit, because this is how one guy got hit with that scopolamine, right? He, calls over one girl, and then all of a sudden magic, she brings a friend over, and then he thinks it's going to get freaky before he knows that he's drugged out and robbed. So that shit happened to your ass, right? You bring them over to your place, man, they knock you out, man. Take your shit.
I think, honestly, I think, and I hate to say this, a lot of travelers, unfortunately, they fall for the Tinder trick. I call it the Tinder trick. If you ain't never met the girl in person, and you don't know her, yes, I understand that we all like that 3 pleasure experience, but my safety is more important than that 3 women experience, 2 or 3 women experience. You have to also remember that I think there was an article, I think you told me about it, though, Dubs, that, of a guy in the group, computers, game systems got robbed, $1,000 and some other stuff I think you told me about, off of a Tinder.
Yeah, the bitch went and opened up a fucking nail shop on that man's shit. You heard me? She snatched the man's card. It's one of them fucking American Express. That's not really a credit card. It's pretty much a charge card. And she just went on a shopping spree, man. She cleaned him out, man. She had got like $2,000 worth of shit, maybe more. And all of it was like beauty supply stuff, makeup, nail press on shit or whatever, you know. So basically she just got her an investor, you know, to start up her own personal business, you know. And the thing about it is, there's two things actually. What Nick was saying about the scopolamine, scopamina, the scopamina, it has different effects on different people. All right. It's like you could probably ask Nick, the three people who had got drugged, they probably all three of them had different stories about how they felt during, after, and you know, so forth. You know, there's been cases where people who've been drugged and they've got too much of a dose, and them motherfuckers never came back right. You know, they walking backwards into the shower now. You know, still to this fucking day. You know, so that's hey man, you know, that's just one of those things, man. And as far as the Tinder date go, I mean, everybody uses Tinder. Let's just be real. We all fishing in the same fucking pond. But it's up to you to do your background research of this motherfucker before you have him come over to your house. Now, that's why it goes back to the name of the story. I mean, the name of the vlog, why you got all that extra. If you didn't have all that shit to take, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been taken. It should have been at the house. She'd have been wandering around there looking like, damn, that's a broke ass fucking gringo. He ain't got nothing to steal. He ain't got no computer. He ain't got no fucking iPhone. He ain't got shit. I done wasted my dope on this motherfucker. But, you know, I digress.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Yes, you are correct. We all use Tinder. You know, it's a very small world. But the difference is that you have to keep your red flags and do your research. You know, off the top, I'm sorry. I will call any of these travelers cockroaches if I have to. If you can't put two and two together, you ain't met this person, and you are going to go off of her as saying, "Oh, I'm gonna bring two girls over." That's a red flag off the top without even meeting. You know, at least, you know, vibe it. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see. You can't make it make sense to that. You can't make that make sense to me. You know, and even like I said, and even with one girl, that can happen. You know, yeah, I've heard stories. I've seen it. We've read stories about, you know, singles going out there, wrong place at the wrong time, you know, and, you know, keep your stuff locked up. You know, there's no reason to come out here with $1 million chains, $500 Jordan shoes. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it.
Bro, half of the time, they don't know what that shit is. You know, well, in DR, you'll get that because DR ain't nothing but the fucking Matrix right now. Just my humble opinion. You know, it's too close to fucking America. But when you're out here in some of these places in Colombia, look at the people around. You know, I mean, they don't have that shit on. You know, they don't even know if it's knockoff or not. They can't tell if it's real, if it's fake. You know, they not into all that shit, man. These people are basically they trying to survive, make it to the next day, keep food on the table, and yet they like nice things. I will give them that, but they dress more conservative, but it's clean. How can I best way I could put it? Like flea market fresh. That's the best way I could put it. You know, like them going to spend $400 on a Balenciaga t-shirt. That shit's unheard of. You know, I've actually heard chicks do TikTok videos. It's unheard of. Who does that shit? You know, you say $500 on a t-shirt? You're fucking nuts. You know, but in America, we have this abundance mentality. We have this abundance of money. This, you know, it's just there. It's the land of plenty. So, I mean, when you had that much money, I guess just, you know, in circulation, you got to spend it on something.
Let's be real for a moment. We have Colombians that live here that have money that don't go on a fucking shopping spree. Let's be real. We have Colombians that live here that can do that. So, you know, now, you know, piggyback off of what you were saying, you got Colombians, men and women, that are living from hour to hour. Let's be real. Fuck the day to day. They live an hour to hour.
No, fucking hand to mouth. You know, from mouth to hand. from the hand to the mouth.
That's true. I got that daily hustle.
Didn't you tell me about a man that you knew that watched a homeless man, took a bird out the thing and ate the bird live raw?
Oh, Nick, you know who I'm talking about. You know who he's talking about, but he's one of our partners, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I begged him. I said, please tell me you got this shit on video. Okay. He said he was in outside. This was like in the yes, it was like in the height of 19, right? So he calls me and he's like, man, OW, where you at? I said, man, is you not in Medellin? I said, no, man. I said, what's going on, bro? You all right? You know, he's like, man, OW, you wouldn't believe what I just saw, bro. You're like, man, tell me, you know, what is it? I was just walking down the street, but I was in the central. You know, I was around the Botero area. You know, around Nutibara, and I was like, "Yeah, what happened, man, bro?" Yeah, this man was just sitting on the sidewalk, and he just got up on his feet like all of a sudden. So I was just looking over there, and he charged the pigeon, and he grabbed him, and he went to eat that bitch. I said, "Dog, he ain't stick a stick through that motherfucker and spark a fly with a flame, a lighter, or nothing." He's like, "No, oh Dub, he ate the bitch raw." The man was hungry. I was like, "No, dog." I was like, "You bitch," I was like, "Bitch, you lying. You gotta be lying."
Well, you know, but you got to flash back to the moment when I first took you down and a couple other guys down at El Centro. They went to those strip clubs down at El Centro, and you saw what it was like between where we were at, which is what in Poblado, Loreles area, and then get down to El Centro, and like we were like, this is another world, man.
Yeah, man. It was like
With
it happened
people living on the
within.
streets, people living with trash, and scavenging and shit. So between
what's
there and
actually
El
funny?
Centro, man, another world.
I actually went to a guy's house. One of my other friends. Matter of fact, you know him. O'Dub's a guy we met in Parquietas. Alex.
Jamaican. Jamaican. Yeah.
Jamaican. Yeah. Well, I went over there, and on my way there, I did see homeless people digging through trash, and people planting their tents. You got people that are probably full light-skinned Colombians that have been homeless for so long that they're just, the dirt's just been sitting on them for years. And it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation. So when we come out here and they see people like us, for them, they ain't got nothing to lose by robbing us. There's nothing they lose. Nothing.
And what was ironic when Nick had showed
But
me,
Colombians rob each other. Colombians rob each other because I would talk to Colombian friends, and like one girl had a house party, and they said I gave her like a nice bottle of gin. And guess what? She invited some friends over, and somebody stole that fucking bottle of gin. So they rob each other. I said, man, it's not. If they're gonna hit their own people hard, they're gonna hit foreigners twice as hard when it comes to robbing you. That's why they drug and rob foreigners and just clean out their shit, man. Because it's like, this is like a gold mine for them, So if you let your guard down, like they say the old expression, no doubt papaya, don't give somebody an opportunity to take advantage of you. And a foreigner's got to be up on their game when they're overseas, especially single guys, because they're just going to see that you probably have pockets full of cash. You probably you got that new computer, you got that new phone. You might have some nice swag, all that shit. And so, they're like, well, this fool's going to give me an opportunity to take that shit off of him. I'm going to take it.
Right. He's going to bring me back to his lair, and like I tell people all the time, this is one time during the day you're at your most vulnerable point, and that's at night when you sleep. That's when you're most vulnerable. When you sleep and you close your eyes, you have no knowledge of what's going on around you. And ain't nothing but space and opportunity for a motherfucker who done took some tussy. They ain't sleeping. They might fake sleep, but they're going to be all night so they hear your ass hit that, oh yeah, it's shopping spree time. And that's it. That's sound the alarm right there. He sleep, and they gonna get you. The stuff that you have in your room. I mean, to us, it's like, and some people have travel insurance or, renter's insurance. Shit is nothing to them. But just the stuff you have in your suitcase that you bring here, because I've known people that want to bring PlayStation 4s down here and all that shit. I have no fucking earthly idea why, but they'll bring the shit anyway. That stuff in your suitcase, it could be damn near 7 to 8 months worth of work to them if it's just an honest work. Now if she out here selling pussy or whatever, that's different, because I know some girls out here that sell pussy that make more than doctors and shit, but hey, that's neither here nor there. That's just how they make it, because they come quick like that. But you take that shit for granted, and you coming down here with all that extra shit while you got all that extra, and you slipping at the same time because damn, I don't want to say, fuck it, I'm gonna put it out there because he don't even know me anyway. There's some people who will come out here who will get overly intoxicated and bring these people back to their place, and they don't even have to drug you, because you pretty much drugged your fucking self. You're drinking enough alcohol for fucking 3 elephants, and you're gonna bring this girl to your house, and you think you're gonna do some damage to the pussy. No, you're not. You're gonna sit in the bed. The room gonna spin. You're gonna puke, and you're gonna pass out, and she's gonna take your shit. That's just it, And that's another thing that I try and emphasize to guys too. When you out here in these places, don't think these people, you're always being watched. The way you move, the way you talk, if you look like you're lost, if you just sitting there drinking like with no perpetuity, you drinking this shit like it's fucking water. They know at some point in the night, You're gonna be discombobulated. You're gonna make some bad choices. You're gonna go to putting your wallet down. You're gonna put your phone down, and your shit gonna be gone. It's just it. I didn't see it happen. You know, it's commonplace almost. You know, they even make jokes about it. You know, the drunk American. You know, look at him. You know, and if you don't speak Spanish, you'll never fucking know.
Let's be real for a moment. Oh, sorry about that.
Let's be real. Okay, tell us.
Tell us, D-Man. You remember them motherfuckers, huh? D-Man. Look at them bitches. D-Man. You remember that shit, Nick? Oh, man.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, we got to get into that story later, right? You know, the story of the Itagüí story.
Oh, yeah. We're going to let you tell that story, Nick. We're going to let you tell that one, dog, because anyway, you saved the night. You saved the night on that one, dog. That shit. Oh my God. Oh my bad.
Johnny has something to say.
Johnny, bro, my bad. Wait on.
Is he still there?
Is he still here?
Oh, I think he got cut off again.
Oh, I got it. I'm about to bring him back in.
Yeah, maybe he got cut off. What's this say?
All right, my bad.
Yeah,
Damn Wi-Fi. This is horrible Wi-Fi in Colombia. Boy, I tell you, fucking horrible.
Cool.
As I was gonna say, let's be real, O-Dubs, you know our special driver that we get, he got me. Took my headphones.
So
I
was gonna tell you about that, bro, but he actually brought that up in the conversation coming here.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I don't sugarcoat, no secrecy. I ain't gonna say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Now, I'm a newbie to the game, and that's okay. You know, these are travel experiences that you learn. You just repeat the same mistake, no problem. Now,
learning curve.
That's the word I was looking. Learning curve.
Yeah, that's true.
Now he gonna text me a couple days later. Hello, my friend. How are you? Like nothing happened. This is normal for these Colombians to come out here and do this. You know, so now I got to keep 2 eyes on him, 4 eyes, and make sure he don't, you know. And again, we all learn from these, you know, from the learning curve, and you just have to make sure you just watch yourself. You just watch what you do and watch how you move. Now, for someone like me, I've never got out here. Now, I'm not going to jinx myself, but I will say we as avid travelers, we're not perfect. And I think OW mentioned this months ago when me and him first met. If you walked up to me and told me you ain't never got, you ain't, you know, you ain't never been through some shit, I don't want to know who you are. Now, am I right or wrong for that?
No, I'm gonna tell you my reasoning behind that. When somebody say, "Oh man, I've been traveling, I ain't never got, ain't nothing ever happened to me." This is just my logic. When you tell me that, bitch, either you're lying or it's even worse.
That's right.
You was too stupid to know you got.
That's true.
You think you got a deal. So you think about that shit. You got a motherfucker so dumb that they think they got a deal when they really got. So they don't even know they got. So you know what that means? You dealing with a motherfucker that will go back and get got again because he don't know he got the first time. So you got the other people.
You know, yeah. Or otherwise he ain't keeping track of his money and keeping track of his things, right? Because shit be, oh man, I lost this, I lost that shit. I'm like, but you know, it's but that's why I was gonna jump on another story because it happened only a couple of weeks ago and this guy's a police officer, so I'm not gonna like dig into the details. He's still out here in Medellin. But you know, he said he was up in Parque Jerez, and you know, the only thing is the criminals, the pickpockets, you know, they're just up in their game, right? You know, especially with these, you know, post the quarantine and people been out of work and people desperate for money, you know, things seems to get mixed up. So he's in Parque Jerez, and this is where I going out of my favorite spot, and some girl just rushes up to me and starts hugging me. And he said, before I know, my fucking phone was gone, and my phone was in my front pocket. He says, but she hugged me, and then before I know it, somebody grabbed my phone. And I said, well, you know, I said to him, the thing about it is, it could have been her, it could have been a couple of people she's working with, and she could be distracting you, and somebody slides up against you and says, steal your phone, you know. And so he had to see, the only problem he had is like, like the rest of us, he's got all the apps on the phone with all his info. So maybe you have your credit card information there, your bank information there. And then, without that phone, you can't connect to your bank. He said, well, no, I have to cancel all this stuff. And I said, but I gotta go through my company, my cell phone company, and cancel shit. But the code that then, that I'm going to confirm to reset everything, to log everything down, goes to my phone or through my email, which is all on my phone. So you have like a computer. So, guys got to be aware that, they, if he was by himself, so he's a veteran. He's been out here a few times, but even the vets can get got because the criminals is up their game, man. They especially post this quarantine, people are more hungry for money, and you got some new faces in town, and so you don't know that person. That person can right up on you, steal your shit, and you won't know because you never seen them before, and they know they've been working the circuit in Parque Juarez or the parts of Medellin, and and they work in teams, some of these pickpockets. So
absolutely,
that's another situation you got to be careful of.
It's like a distraction. They'll send one person to distract while the other ones go in. They team up on it. Like somebody will bump you, you'll turn and be like, oh, excuse me. And while you're doing that, the other person working your fucking back pocket. You don't even know it. The shit happens so quick. It's like a blink of an eye. Like these motherfuckers practice shit in villages or some shit. I don't fucking know. In dirt houses somewhere, they practice this shit. Look, they got it down pat. I'm gonna be honest with you. They know their craft. It ain't, this ain't some novice shit they doing. These are professionals you're dealing with. Even when you think about the people when they steal your credit cards, if someone can extract that amount of money that quick from your card, they have to have some type of inside deal going on with some bank, some creditor, or something, for somebody to extract that many thousands of dollars from a card and, not some type of red flag to go off with like, hey, you just bought $3,000 worth of shit and this isn't your card, your name isn't on it. But we're just going to keep swiping. What the fuck? Somebody in on it. It's like a ring. They got something going on.
I got to cut this off real quick. I got you. You know what? To add on to what you just said, that actually happened to me. Now, luckily, I was actually using my brain. I got text message alerts, and it actually happened to me at the clock tower briefly. She didn't get anything, but she tried to charge $397 on a prepaid card, and that's something else. I rode with the prepaid card, a particular one. I'm not going to mention it on the live, but I have a particular prepaid card I rode with for this specific reason. Now, imagine if it was my actual bank card. Now, I got the text message and I load exactly what I need at that moment. I don't just load $500 in the card. Now, she was upset. I'm pretty sure whenever she tried to run that card and wherever she was at, she got disappointed because you wasn't going to get it for $397.04, whatever you were trying to do. And so, yeah, any one of us can get got. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran or not. You just got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. Clock Tower is probably one of the worst just because there's so many people there that, and like tagging on what Nick was saying, pandemic has made people desperate. They got nothing to lose. They got nothing. They're nothing.
Everything again. Right about that.
Well, even I got during the pandemic because one girl came over my place and I said, okay, I'll be nice to you, and hook you up with some food at the supermarket. So we go to the supermarket, after we did our thing. And then before I know it, I came back to the supermarket. I was like, my credit card's gone. She's like, oh, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I'm like, what? And so I searched and I said, okay, she finally goes back. I search around for it. It ain't anywhere near. It's not in my wallet. So maybe when I went to take a shower or something like that, she's like swiped it out of my wallet or some shit. Of course, she denied up and down. She didn't take it. But, unfortunately, I got it replaced by my bank because they were able to overnight it, new one to me. But, yeah, you got to watch out. You put that wallet down. That wallet could take a run. You could take a walk. Your credit cards could take a walk. The smart criminals will only take a little bit out of your wallet so that you don't know anything's missing. Might be a credit card, debit card, a little bit of your cash if you don't keep track of your cash. What else you might got in there, that they might think value, but they're not going to take everything. Just put that wallet down a little bit. They know what it is, or they'll swipe something else that you might not notice. You know, like, you know, something that you're not gonna notice right off the, especially if they're still in the same place with you. They're not gonna want to steal something. Then you start searching through their shit. You know, but
You know what?
that does happen.
To add on to that, now that it reminds me, they tried to run the card for $1.06 and then try to run it again. You know, so they'll do some stuff like that to make sure that the card's valid. You know what I'm saying? And then again, you know, it's very different and kind of that what you just said. A credit card versus a debit card, completely different. You know, credit card you can easily call. Debit card, whenever someone tries to run, you know, we're gonna use other terms. They oil you and fuck you, and take your money. You're gonna have a hard time getting it back from the bank. Bottom line.
And we have another
Oh
issue.
yeah, that's true. Debit card. Yep, definitely.
People will be saying like, "Oh, he's a veteran. How did he get got?" And this is just my opinion on that. When you become considered as a travel veteran, quote unquote, you go through a little something and you become to be complacent. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Once you become a veteran, you've gone a place so many times, you begin to get comfortable. Once you get comfortable, you get sloppy, and you just start to like ease back on the usual precautions that you would normally take or whatnot, because like, oh yeah, I got this. You know, I've been here so many times. I know what I'm doing. I know what to look for. You know, so you become complacent. And believe it or not, I know people personally who could be considered like travel veterans or whatnot, and they've gotten got just like Nick said. You know, you just get complacent with it. And in my humble opinion, if you're a novice to traveling or whatnot, and it's good to still have that fear in you because you keep your guards up. You know, I don't know if this makes sense to people who may be listening or whatnot, but complacency can be a fucking terrible thing because you let your guards down, and it's easier for people to get up on you and do shit that they wouldn't have normally had a chance to do prior when you were a novice traveler or whatnot, because you were watching every fucking thing. So just don't think because a person is a veteran traveler or they have so much experience going to this country and that country or whatever, you know, that person could be susceptible to the same games and gimmicks because the ops is out there, and they can actually get got quicker because they become complacent. So that's just
there's one guy here, and I won't use names and not like that, but so during the pandemic, and it was just a couple days before I left, like before, was it late September of last year? Guess how much this guy got cleaned out? $100,000 in cash, all his computers, all of his phones. The people got information that they got into all of his banking accounts, brokerage accounts, and they started swiping out money out of that shit. So he had to connect with Rob to get all this shit shut down. So Rob is like an angel for a lot of people out here.
Yes.
Rob in Georgia. Yes. He is like an angel. So, I mean, when guys get into this, so the guy with this cell phone situation just a couple of weeks ago was one situation. But a lot of guys do. And this guy's been coming here for several years, 7 years. I don't know. He's fluent in Spanish and everything. But when you get set up, you get set up. Like if people know you, they know your habits, know your patterns. Whether you're a veteran or not, they're going to try to like take advantage of that. And, that moment of weakness is sometimes all they need, to get shit that you can't always recover. So guys got to be aware that they got that nice fancy new computer. Maybe it's got all their passwords in it, all their other shit on it. They got the phone, it's got a lot of info on it. They're going to swipe that shit first of all. But nowadays they're hip to the game where they realize you got info on there and it might have information about your accounts and how to connect to them, how to get your shit. And they got to shut all that shit down and then you got to get your new shit back. So, and that, that can be a hard hit if you're a veteran or you're just on vacation. So, we're all talking about safety, but that's true. Guys got to be kind of aware of that because a lot of these stories, there's a lot of stories that don't make the news. Unless you read Spanish, you don't hear those stories. Because there was one story, and I was out in Parque Charas, and it was before the pandemic. So I was like, why the fuck are they shutting all the clubs down? Because they started shutting the clubs down. Like you've been here before, some of the clubs stay open until 5 a.m. in the morning. They were shutting all the shit down, every single fucking club. I found out the next day that there was a foreign guy with 2 women that were found dead in his apartment because either they had a drug overdose or they were murdered or whatever. But what the cops thought was that it was some drug they picked up at one of these clubs, so they shut all that shit down, and then they thought these people had an overdose. And it was 2 Colombian girls with a foreign guy, right? Found dead in his apartment. So that shit happens. And there's a lot of shit that happens here in Medellin and Colombia. Unless you read Spanish, you don't hear the news. Because I know a guy who's He works for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police back in Canada, so he tells me all the new stuff. Any crime he happens, he's got the Lolo on it. And we were telling us, and we're like, what the fuck? I never, because you don't see it on the regular TV news here in Colombia, but it'll be like maybe online or something. But that shit happens, man.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
No, it does.
Well,
And to add on, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna tell Nick, while we pushing up on the hour mark, man, we'd like to hear that story about Itagüí, if you don't mind sharing it with us, man.
Oh yeah,
that little
please
adventure
do.
was,
Please do.
yeah, because I started telling Johnny about it, but I didn't tell him the whole story. We got sidetracked. But yeah, it's oh my God.
Tell the story.
Yeah, the floor
I can
is yours.
laugh at it now, but so I guess we got to put background to the story. So there's a spot here in Medellin called Playa Mayorista. So Playa Mayorista is where they have the large central farmers market here in Medellin. And that, that's during the day, right? It's a wholesale farmers market. And then they shut that down, and then they have little clubs and everything that are basically right next door where the farmers market is. Little bars and clubs, and girls from Medellin, that are on the clock go there to find clients and everything. So we were hooking up with this one guy, and me and OW never met him before, but he's part of our travel group. We go, okay, we're going to hang out with him. And then he's like, we're like, okay, I showed these, OW and this guy around, and, this girl's then. I said, well, you want to hook up with these girls, you just do your thing, and you go for like whatever time you want to go, hour, half hour, whatever, do your thing. Little love hotels right next door to here, right? There's all Colombian girls, but it's cheaper than, being out Parque Jarris. But the same girls that basically work in all parts of Medellin, go through that area, during the night, right? Maybe they're trying to pick up some more money and shit. So this guy is there, and then we're sitting down. We have some food and everything. We're like, okay, we'll get up and see what's up. See, what you guys want to do. I said, I'm flexible, right? Because I've been out here several times before. And then this guy goes, oh, I'm gonna meet this girl. I'm like, why you gotta try to meet a girl? It's kind of like equivalent to bringing sand to the beach. Like, why the fuck are you gonna try to bring this girl out here, to this spot when there's already 30, 40, 50 girls already around it.
It was an abundance.
Like, what the fuck's going on through his mind? Many. But and then all of a sudden we you had gone and did your thing, but there was this little all of these little love hotels have a gate, right, that they buzz you in, buzz you out and shit. So I was there, and I'm like, this guy, I know you were on your way out, and then he was like at the front entrance arguing with this lady, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because I was just hanging back just to, make sure everything's okay with you guys, right? Buddy system kind of thing. And then he's like, arguing this. I'm like, well, what's going on? And he said, oh, she brought her, I wanted to hook up with this girl and her friend, and she brought up with this girl, and she looks too young. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I have to see what's up. And then I said, but what he had said to this lady in his conversation, which most of these guys see, the only thing about here, and guys got to get through their heads, whether it's the DR, whether it's Brazil, any country where prostitution is legal, there's two things that happen. You have a verbal contract or written contract, and that is a contract. So the police are more inside of the girls in a lot of these countries than they're going to be on the tourists. DR may be a little bit more inside of the tourists. But if there's you say to a girl, I'm going to pay you $100 an hour, come through my place for an hour. Well, prostitution is legal. So you just made a contract with a girl for $100 an hour. Well, if you decide you ain't going to follow through on that, well, she can call the police on you. And especially in Colombia, she call the police on you, and the police could go, okay, yeah, we'll make the problem go away, but you got to pay her $100 an hour, and you got to pay us $100 an hour to make the problem go. Otherwise, we take you to jail. That's how that system works. And that place where we were at, the other side, upside of that place is all police all over that shit. So there's police almost every block, in a 4 or 5 block radius, right? So he's arguing with this girl saying, well, I ain't going to pay you. I ain't going to give you money. I said, well, all right. So I had to look in this situation. I said, well, yeah, that girl to look kind of underage. And I said, well, the only thing I said to this lady arguing with her back in Spanish, I said, yeah. She said, well, he owes me money. And I said, well, yeah, but if you're bringing some girl underage and she doesn't have her ID, that's illegal. I had to, argue with her back and forth about that. And I said, you just have to get going. You just have to cut the loss because, but this American guy, I'm going to call the police. I said, yeah, we don't want to call the police. The police might, because the police are here in Colombia, if there's some issue with foreigners, they'll just bring everybody into the jail. Because I've had issues in the past, but they'll just throw everybody in the, the little squad car, whatever you want to call it, squad, paddy wagon, as they call it. They do have those here. They'll
I
throw you
just
in
wanna-
that
can I just
motherfucker
wanna
and bring you down to jail, and then they'll see what they can get out of your ass. You know,
I just gotta inject on this story right quick.
they ain't gonna
The
reach
part
your
that
rights.
Nick's
They don't reach
talking
your
about-
rights here in Colombia.
Hell no. This is I want to interject because he got to finish the story. When that gate closed, I was around the gate at the same time, and the guy asked me, "OW, come here, bro. Come here, OW." I'm like, "Man, what's up? Look at her. How she look? Don't she like she look? Oh, let me up out of here." I ran from behind that gate. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even second guess it. And like within 2 seconds of me cutting from behind that door, they slammed the gate and locked him in there. So
That's
if I'd
right.
have stood
You
there,
actually
if
unlocked
I'd have talked to him, I'd have been locked back there with him. Because the chick
Yep,
who I
yep,
was
yep.
with, she got locked in there. I left everybody in that motherfucker, cousin. I left her, him, the fucking minor, the dog, the cat, the rats and roaches running around that motherfucker. I left everything. Me and Nick on the other side looking in.
Hey,
She's
bro.
like, how you get out of here?
Hey, that's survival of the fittest. Survival of
Yes.
the motherfucking fittest.
It was
That's
time to
right.
go.
That's right.
Dude, the girl was standing behind the door like she was a scared little kitten, dog.
That's
Little girl
right.
like she
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
that
That
old
girl
and
was looking
everything.
youngish.
I hate to say it. If they ain't got no
Right.
ID, you ain't got to worry about no schlong going nowhere near you. You ain't got no identification.
Well, the
No.
thing about it is, and I found out from my Spanish teacher here, by law, any Colombian or Venezuelan, if they're over 18 and over, they have to carry the national ID with them. So American, you know, obviously tourists are a bit different. But if you meet a Colombian girl but they call it a cedula, and she has no cedula, that means she's under 18. Or she doesn't have the legal ID she should have it. And they're required, like the thing he told me is, if you're walking on the street and you're Colombian and you're over 18, you got to have your national ID. And the police can stop you at any time and demand to see that ID. So any girl that you meet, if she don't have a cedula, you know, might as well just keep walking. She ain't 18 or she ain't
I'm gonna
legal
tell
or
you
she's
something.
here illegally.
I actually, you know what, in Cartagena, that reminds me of a Venezuelan I particularly met. Now, this girl didn't have no papers, but she had her Venezuelan ID or whatever, and I'm okay with that. I don't care if you're illegal in Colombia.
That
as long as you're
makes
over
sense.
18.
No, I'm
I
not
don't
saying
care
that's
about
illegal,
that.
but that's not illegal in a sense of that. I'm just saying where they have no ID. They could be over 18, but if they have no ID, then you know they're not walking around legal in that sense. That doesn't mean they're underage. I'm just saying they don't have, which the police can stop them, you know, detain them and ask you questions too. You know, trying to because like I said, there's no like Miranda rights and all this kind of bullshit in a lot of these countries, poorer countries. You know, they'll just run you into the station, and then sometimes, you know, if you're with a crooked cop, they'll be like, okay, give me some money, you know, and, you know, bribe me. And, you know, there's been a lot of stories of that too, you know, because people were getting, you know, issues with the curfew and the quarantine, and they were all past curfew. And then they were stopping people going, well, you know, yeah, you give us money, we'll make it go away. Otherwise we take you to jail. You know, and you got to have that money on you. And it's not cheap. They were getting like $100 out guys and shit. So,
And I hate to add this on there too, just to add on to what you said about the bribery. And I've heard stories about cops, sweeping some stuff under the rug too. You know, as an American, if you want to get rid of a particular individual or something going on, you can pay a cop off out here with no problems. The right
that's
amount of money.
True. Yep. They don't get paid much, man. They don't pay much. I mean, really, you know, it all depends.
I think, didn't you show me a video a while back of some infidelity going on, and he paid off the cop and the girl died, I think, right? You know, he walked in on them. He had a camera in the room.
Well, you know, wait. I don't know if the cop paid him off, but she didn't make it to see tomorrow.
Let's be real. He paid the cop off. Fuck all that.
Well, we don't know.
Oh, wow.
I'm
that
just
probably
saying, bro,
disappeared somehow.
She died. The man, it was a gringo. I'm going to tell you the story he's talking about. It was a gringo. Damn. He had a camera set up in the room, okay? He was off at work, out of country. I don't know the backdrop behind it, but Buddy came home. He went and put on his Michael Myers trousers and went and got the motherfucking butcher knife out the kitchen, and he went to work. Homeboy turned around. He saw that butcher knife. He tried to run out of there. He said, "Oh, no, buddy. You're going to get this blade." He stabbed him in the stomach. All right? Went to go hit him again. The chick jumps up and tries to stop him from proceeding to Michael Myers, this motherfucker. And he turned the knife on her. Buddy ran down the street butt naked, leaking, dick out and everything, blood trail. You know what I'm saying? Horror story. And he got your girl on the bed, and he just went to work on it. I mean, he consistently. I mean, he hit her until she stopped moving, and it was a puddle left. Now, what
All
happened
her
after
vital
that?
points were gone.
We could,
Damn.
yeah. I mean, well, we can speculate what happened after that, but what we do know is she not with us no more. And homeboy running down that street.
makes,
He may
I
have not
get it.
either. So, I need to pay the bills right quick. Let me give a shout out to Greg G. I appreciate that support for the channel, brother. He sent the Cash App over. Good looking out, man. I appreciate that. I'm back, man. It's my first time back. It's my first Cash App, and I definitely appreciate that. But Nick, y'all want to carry on with the story, man? Go ahead on, because we're running up on the hour and 15 mark, and we're gonna do closing comments after that.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the part of the story was, you were there, and obviously, I was going back and forth with that lady in Spanish, and I said, well, I mean, the bottom line is, if this girl's here and there are cops here, if it's all illegal, you can't make this arrangement, of her hooking up with a guy for a date or whatever for something if she's under 18. So we just gotta I just said, you just gotta leave. Because the only guys, the American guy was trying to I'm gonna call a cop. He was trying to act American. I go, well, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna bring the police over. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to bring the police over, because it could go either way. They could take her side in the issue and then demand that you pay her plus pay them. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't want that. Or they could take all of us down to the station in the paddy wagon, and then we'll all be having to be questioned. Because if it's an underage situation with a underage woman, underage girl, and it, technically involving prostitution, then we're all fucking in trouble, and we don't want that either, right? Because I don't know, because the only thing is, we didn't know if she had ID or not, she's 18 or not, whatever the situation was. But it would all make all of us look bad, because we're all Americans, we're all gringos. They're gonna be like, well, you gringos are all involved to something. So if the cops are crooked, they figure, well, we're gonna get money out of one of you gringo assholes, right?
Nick, you scared the fuck out of me when you told me that, dude. Cause I hold on, man, I'm not behind the cage. What do you mean? He said, that doesn't mean anything. OW, we're with him. He'll extort all
that's
of us.
right. Guilt by association.
Shit. I was like, we gotta do something, Nick, man. Don't call the police, because he was saying OW, go get the police, Nick,
It's not the D, not the D. No.
Go get the police. I'm like, man, you sure you want me to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because I mean, to tell you the guys the truth, yeah, having found out something's being here in Medellin, like I said, the past 3 years, yeah, there's a lot of underage prostitution going on. There's a lot of gringos looking for underage prostitutes. That is part of the situation. I'm not talking about promoting or anything like that, but that is part of what's going on. And so yeah, the cops are wise to that, hip to that. If they got a gringo they can put on a string, they do put some gringos in jail for getting underage girls. And then so guys trying to. It's not something you want to mess with. Like I said, the big thing about it is, if you're talking to a girl, she doesn't have a cedula. She says she's over 18, but she doesn't have a cedula, and she can't show it to you, can't demonstrate it to you, or a passport. Because if you're a Venezuelan girl with a passport, she may not have a Colombian ID or whatever. But if she doesn't have that proof, that picture proof that she's over 18, just might as well just keep walking, because the cops can pull up on you anytime, pull you off to the side of the street, especially in Parque Jerez, because all the gringos are out there, and just bring you down. And then you don't know which way it's going to go all the way to court. If you don't have money for a bribe, or you can't work out the situation. So a lot of guys got to realize, like I said, when we're talking a Tinder dating situation, and sometimes you want that. You want to have that ID and that cedula, especially when a lot of hotels you stay in that demand it from the girls, because I've seen shit happen. One American guy I saw on the street the other day, not the other day, but it was during the quarantine period, right? Just around in the middle of it, right? He's like, I checked out of the blocks, and he's like with this what do you call it, like this Colombian chick, and saying, oh, she stole my phone. So there's two cops. He's drunk. The girl's drunk. And he's like, this bitch stole my phone. This bitch, take her to jail. Take it. I want to prosecute. I want my phone back. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and she stayed overnight with him in the blocks. And it was like, so these situations can pop up, so. But you want that. That's why a lot of hotels take a copy of their ID and stuff, because if they steal shit off of you, and and you can have a complaint, at least they got something to follow up on. But like I said,
will say this to add on to what you just said. OW can actually vouch for it. I was one of the main ones that was against it. But you are 100% correct, because they're gonna have something to follow on. The hotels don't. Most of them ask for the cedula or their identification, and at least they try to rob you, do something. Guess what? Their information's there. there. And most girls, when they know they can't get away with it, the minute they pop their ID, most of the time they'll be on their best behavior. Most of the time.
Hold on, wait. There's a comment in the chat right now. I just gotta read this from Mostly Money TV. Shout out to Mostly Money. He says there's an old dude from UK doing 20 years caught in Colombia for messing with a 16-year-old girl. They take that shit seriously here.
They take it really seriously. Yep. There's a documentary, I think it's by Vice called Virgins for Sale in Colombia. And I think I know which guy he's talking about that. Yep. This guy messing with girls younger than that too. This is the same guy he's talking about. It was a British guy. He was messing with like 11, 12-year-olds. It wasn't just 16-year-olds. he was getting some really nasty shit. Yeah. Watch the Vice documentary, Virgins for Sale in Colombia, and you'll see it. And that is also true. That some people trying to like hustle those. And then that's what I was going to say. The other thing is these sting operations happen where they got a madam. Like it was around last couple of years ago for, having underage girls, through a roster and all that kind of shit. So they catch up on that. I mean, there's some shady stuff that happens as well. But I'm saying it's stuff that like, if you want to protect yourself as a tourist, you don't want to get mixed up in that shit. Like I said again, I tell all the guys, make sure those girls got that cedula, even if they say they're over 18. And, maybe you can ask for them. They can send you a copy of it and shit like that. So you know that they're over 18 and that they're legit. Because I had one girl and she was telling me all kinds of bullshit. I know her for a while. And I said, okay, well, you know what? Well, so her age on Facebook was like 24, something like that. I said, oh, okay. I'm like, well, you need a cedula to come into my building. And I'm like, okay, so tells me the cedula. The cedula has a different age on it. I'm like, well, what is your age? Oh, my age is such and such. And I'm like, hold on, you got 3 different ages. That means you got like 3 different birthdays.
Oh my God.
So they're trying to be slick with this shit too as well, taking your stupid gringo. But I'm like, okay, whatever. But like I said, at the end of the day, right, it's like if you're hooking up with these girls on Tinder and, they seem a little youngish and stuff, even if they're an adult woman, they still need some form of ID. It's got to be the passport or what you call it, or a cedula or it can be like we're talking about their Venezuelan picture ID or something like that. Because the Venezuelans that live here legally, of course, also have like a Colombian sort of what they call transit ID, something like that. They give the Venezuelan people. But like I said,
personally, and I hate to say, well, no, I don't hate to say this. I never can understand how, and again, to each his own. But there are men in the world that actually get off on underage sex, and like I said, I'll be the first. I don't condone any of that. And to tag you on, I realize the Colombians they take it serious with underage sex. You will get locked. The jail will be snagging off. You ain't getting out.
I will say this: I'm gonna say 7 out of 8 of the Airbnbs that I've gone to. In the elevator, there's signs in there that's written in Espanol that say that no one's allowed in the building under 18, and messing with children is like it's not a good thing here. I'm gonna say it the least. I'm gonna put it to you that way. You know what I'm saying? They will put your ass somewhere, and if you go to jail and they find out that's what you're there for, it's a good possibility you're not gonna come back out the same way you went in.
And by the way, you won't get free meals in the cot.
Yes, that's another thing about going to jail.
Like Colombian jail, no.
No, you're not gonna go in there like in America. You're gonna have a TV. You're gonna have a bed. They're gonna come bring you a breakfast and give you juice in the evening and all that shit. No, They might have 15 or 20 of you motherfuckers in a 6x12. You know what I'm saying? In a room no bigger than a 1-bedroom apartment. You know what I mean? A 1-bedroom, not even the whole apartment. They had 16, 20 of you motherfuckers crammed in there, and ain't nobody bringing no food around to you. You have to have people bring you food. It's nothing like America. Matter of fact, there's probably people in the Colombian jail right now who would love to be in an American federal prison. That would be like a motherfucking Disney World vacation tour.
Yes. Yeah, and here's the slobber knocker to add on to hit the chapter on it. When you get people out here that come out here and and it happens in Mexico all the time, with the cartels and the underage sex. I don't condone underage sex. If you are going to do something like that, you better be prepared to pay off cartel, police, corrupt police, whatever you want to call it. Because once you get put in that slapper knocker and that door gets shut, that's it. That's it. And it's unfortunate that you get people like this. And like I said, I don't condone it at all. I don't believe in it. I'll say it like Dub. I'm running. Fuck walk. I'm running. If I hear anything about AIDS.
Shout out to Real Brother. Real Brother says Colombian jail sounds as if it is bad as the Dominican one. Yeah, man, they're running a race. I mean, Nick could probably vouch for that, man. There's a show called Vice. It has something to do with the world's worst prisons in the world or whatnot. And Dominican Republic and Colombia, they did shows about jails here. They were actually rioting in there because it was a point to where the water was cut off. And this was doing 19. I'm not going to say the whole. This was doing 19. And the people in there is like, man, the conditions they have us in here, they treat us like animals. It's subhuman, we might eat once a day. We might not eat, and when the water went off, it's like we literally in there dehydrated. You got to take into consideration Colombia and DR, man. It's just Colombia. It's hot out here. Despite what people may say, there's some areas out here it's hot as panther piss. If you're not up in the mountains in fucking Bogota, if you down in a Cali or Cartagena or something like that, and you're in a fucking a brick building surrounded by brick, and that brick holds heat, you're basically being basted in there. You got all these other bodies around you. That's not somewhere you won't be at, man. Then you turn the water off. I mean, when do they bathe? Some people say they may bathe once a week. It's like a privilege to take a bath in that motherfucker. So you're surrounded by all these spunky ass, sweaty ass balls. They hungry, they sweating, and it's a matter of time they're gonna cannibalize each other.
Well, what also happens, and what was I gonna say to break in on the whole, just to add that final piece. So yeah, we resolved that situation. They think we went our separate ways. That lady went her separate way, right? But what I found out from another guy, he's an American, Canadian expat that lives out here. He said what he found out was that a lot of the cops, they put locators on the girl's phone, like tracking, like tracking apps and all that shit. So let's say there's an underage girl. Well, this is part of a sting operation. Like you pick that girl up or you pick her up in your car. They're going to follow that girl all the way to your hotel. And then before you know, you get a knock on the door. So they're not stupid with low level technology either, right? So some of these young girls wandering out there, like talking to guys on Tinder, talking to guys on Facebook, whatever. I think sometimes part of those police sting operations as well, right? They put a little tracking device on the girl's phone, tracking app. You go to meet her, she goes to your place, and then boom, 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 they're at your door. So
and also to add on too, on the Tinder thing, the underage, for all you know, you could be talking to a police in undercover. You don't know. You don't know who you're talking to behind
that's
a
right,
text
message. And that's and we're not into that, but yeah, there's some guys. I met some wackos, but I'm like, whatever. It's like I'll say 5,000 feet away from you, because sooner or later you're gonna get stuck in a trap, but you're not smart enough to really think it, because your money might not buy your way out too. I mean, like you say, you might have some money on you, but if it's the embassy's gonna not do shit for you, and your money might not buy your way out, depending upon what the situation is.
Let's be real. The U.S. Embassy, 90%, they probably ain't gonna do nothing for you. The best they probably gonna do is call your family.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Dick.
I'm just saying, so you have to just be careful in the nightclubs and all the places you go to, just to keep you on your P's and Q's. We don't. I want to beat this in the ground, but but the other flip side of that situation is even if it's an adult woman, like you say, having an ID, know who she is, because they could drop and rob your ass too, and you wouldn't remember who it was, you wouldn't know where she was. So if they check in your hotel or your Airbnb, or you got something of a picture ID of them, something that somebody you just met on the fly, then at least you got something to follow up on. And also they're going to be, like you say, less likely to act out or to rob your ass, because you got some kind of evidence on them.
Well,
so
why you got all that extra? Why you got all that extra?
That's good.
Let's be real for a moment. Let's be real. Whenever a hotel or whatever, they take the girl's ID in the back of the girl's mind, if she's a what they call that, an expert at robbing dudes, she don't think it twice, because now her information's there. So she gonna take a step back and be like, you know what? I'm taking a chance, because you have to remember, once they got that information, all it takes for them is to give it to the police, and that's a wrap. That's a wrap. And then they can connect it to several different other cases, that may have been robbed in the area. You don't know. So that's why I said some girls, when they see that, they may take a step back.
But see, bro, we gotta take some blame in this too, bro. I see a lot of this talk going on among the girls. These guys is doing this shit too, bro. That's what it all boiled down to. That's why I was asking that question. Why the fuck you got all that extra? If you ain't got nothing to take, you can't get robbed.
That's true.
That's what it boiled down to.
That is true.
What you gonna rob? You motherfuckers ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. That's why I was about to ask Nick. Nick say the dude got hit for $100,000 in cash. Well, Nick, please, just make me go to sleep good at night, brother Nick. What the fuck this man had $100,000 for?
You know what? I'm not even gonna say, because I'm not that deep into his business. I know he's he's a regular at Sweet Georgia Cafe. He does his thing. See, the only thing about it is, I mean, we gotta go on the flip side of this situation. That's not to talk about this guy, but a lot of dudes get killed out here too, man, because they messing into drugs and crime and shit like that. And I know a lot of guys. I mean, this rally, right? This has got a lot of that gang stuff drugs is flowing through here. So I don't know. I mean, this is what he said, but all I'm saying is I can't really tell you what the whole deal was. Because what I'm going to back it up is I'm going to just say that, and most of us know, if we've been traveling for a while, you may meet an expat, but that don't mean the guy ain't on the run for the law, because that guy Miko Worldwide was out here and he had charges against him up in, I think it was Atlanta. And they came and got his ass, right? Because he was buzzing around the Dominican Republic. He was buzzing around here. And you know what the ironic thing is? I stayed at the building, my Airbnb, like during the quarantine, it was in that building. Because the girl was telling me, oh, yeah, I met him, a Colombian girl. I met him. He seemed normal. I didn't think he was into boys and shit. But he got busted here in this building.
Let's not say his name. Let's not say his name. I got a personal grudge with him.
Well, no, I'm not. I shouldn't.
You know what I'm talking about.
So I'm gonna back it up and say, this is what I know from the allegations of the charges against him, right? And I don't know if it went to trial or whatever. But so in other words, if you meeting guys out here, I don't know why the guy would have that much cash on it, if he did really, or whatever's going on. But yeah, you gotta sort of not be, you can be nice to people, but sometimes, people, they out here and they're doing their thing. You don't know exactly what they might be involved in. So sometimes you got to keep your distance. Well, because they shot a guy. What was this guy's name? They shot him in the head too. And he was a pedophile, but they, got shot in the head out here in Lauderdale a couple years back.
Did it make the news?
No, it didn't make the news. That shit don't make the news. That's what I'm telling you. Shit be happening. There's that people get shot and killed and, done and dusted or arrested. And it rarely makes the news, because they don't, most tourist places don't really want that in the news. So they kind of suppress it. If you read Spanish and you see like some of the online news, you'll hear it. Like I said, the RCMP officer tells me about these stories, when he's around. But I mean, that's the only way I have to dig for it.
The Barranquilla story didn't get really put into the news. Another YouTuber had to actually put the news out there, because like you just said, they wanted to suppress it, because they knew if they would have put that on the news, that it was going to already, because they were already hurt with the tourists, it was going to kill it. Who would want to go to Barranquilla after one of the brothers got killed, So of course they're going to try to suppress it from the news. They already know that it's going to mess up the money, that's just what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I'm saying that like some guys come over here, like they go to the DR and they're on the run for the law. So, like I said, sometimes you gotta be a little cautious. Some characters, right? You don't know what they into, what they up to. Yeah, why did he get jacked for 100K in cash? That's what he said, and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know his real deal. I mean, I know I like the guy, he's cool, but I mean, like I said, some expats out here, you go to the places and they could be shady. So. But, and some get done and dusted. They do get killed. They get shot in the head and killed in broad daylight too, man. And I forgot the guy's name. I can't remember. But he had like a blog and website and all that shit. So that shit don't happen here. I mean, so anyways, like I was saying, we're talking about why do you have all that stuff, right? Why? Yeah, that's exactly
All that
it. You
extra.
mind just bring the
All
basics.
that
Just bring
extra.
the basics. Yeah, you don't need all that stuff. If
You
you
don't
out here
need
in
that
Colombia, people aren't flossing. This isn't like New York and isn't like LA or some place fancy place where people got these crazy clothes and designer this and designer that. And the other thing I was gonna say, so I've shopped with Colombian girls and they go down to El Centro and they buy the knockoff stuff, right? They don't buy. It may say Nike on it
Exactly.
or it may say Adidas, but it's knockoff. It's not the original thing because I work for
Hell
Nike,
no.
so I know Nike original stuff. And you'll see stuff that'll say, what is it? Air Jordan has two eyes and in the air, right?
You got a
So it's
Jordan with no
knockoff. It's
basketball. He
knockoff.
kicking up. You got Jordan with a soccer ball in his hand or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You get fucking shit ain't real.
So but that's okay with them in that they don't. The Medellin is, it doesn't really have. Even Bogota wasn't really that like high design or high fashion kind of stuff, and people wearing these fancy clothes. And then the other thing I was going to say, add on top of that. So we're talking about that, but there was one, and I can't, it's on YouTube, right? But it was this about robbers, right? So there's a Colombian guy in the middle of the day, and this is in Bogota. But what happens? He doesn't know that 5 people are trying to get up and rob him because he has this thick old chain around his neck. So some of the people are getting in his way, and he's trying to weave through them, but he doesn't realize they're all working together. So a couple get in front of him, and then a guy gets in back and just takes that chain off, grabs that chain on his neck and just rips it right off and then runs off with it. Before you know it, it's gone. And they show women getting pickpocketed by somebody asking for directions, and old ladies, like middle-aged ladies, and somebody's asking for directions, and then one girl comes up behind the woman and then just goes through her purse or whatever and picks out her wallet or picks out her phone. So Colombians are getting hit as well, just foreigners. So you, like you say, why have all that extra? Just keep the basics with you. Don't be flossing with like big old jewelry, big old gold chains, gold watches, gold rings and shit. Because the criminal, and then another story that my friend told me, and he told me this story that the cop did. He said one guy was sitting in a park in Bogota, and then 2 guys nicely dressed up in suits come up to him and say, "Okay, we can do this the hard way or the easy way. We got guns." You got to give them your shit one way or the other. And then so they said, okay, we're going to take your wallet, we're going to take your phone, we're going to take all your shit. And if you try to resist, we'll shoot you. And so he gave up, and this is broad daylight. He gave up all his shit.
That remind me of the booty bandit in jail when the new fish coming there. He said, I like you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or we could do it the hard way.
Hey, bro, I'll be honest with you. Hey, bro, actually, you know what? You're right about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll go out I'm knowing me. You're right. Give me one option A or option B. I'm gonna go out swinging. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, when it comes to Colombia and the Bogota situation, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna give you my cell phone. I'm gonna give you my money. Hey, you want my shoes too? You want my clothes? Strip me down, but just don't kill me. Just don't kill me. Strip me down if you
I
want.
want to ask you, bro.
Yeah,
so
but that's why you don't bring the good stuff with you, right?
Exactly. Why you got all that extra? Like I've said, why you got all that extra? Nick, you've been here 3 years. Have you seen somebody ride through Medellin on some 22s or some Dub Deuces or some
You know
spokes?
what I saw though? The funniest thing I ever saw, and you remember Plaza Botero, right? Well, the Botero statues are the funny, and this is in broad daylight. So this guy's flying down the street in this motorcycle. He was riding that shit like he stole it. Guess what? He must have stole that motherfucker because 4 or 5 cops on motorcycles were chasing after his ass.
They're gonna tear his ass up too.
He was flying. I think I got a little video of it. I can't remember if I did. I was like, what the fuck's going on? He was like flying and through the crowd of people that usually, going through that. And then the 4 or 5 cops on motorcycles were chasing after his ass. So oh yeah.
Brother Muslim Money said here in Cali, women are robbing women of their long hair. And Douglas Anderson acts off their head.
You know what? That actually, I know a girl who lives in Bejo, and she said she got into a fight, and she's like only 5 foot tall, but she says what happens is if you have the girls have nice, long, beautiful hair, and the girls got a grudge against you and they don't like you, they're going to shave off all your hair and they're going to sell it for money, which of course natural hair does get big money. But yeah, she was like, oh, she had bruises and shit on it. She said, Dad, they were trying to grab my hair and shit. They're trying to like tie me down because she said 4 or 5 girls trying to put it down, and like wrestle it to the ground and then shave her head. So that shit does happen. It's a crazy
That
shit.
sounds
But
like some
that's
shit that
but
happened in New
Bejo be up,
Orleans.
bro. She up in the hood in Bejo, so that was a different story,
I can tell you though, we just know one thing. Whenever we get into Colombia, the in caps, proceed with caution. Proceed with caution, because any one of us will get got. Like I said, I don't jinx any one of us on the panel or in the chat. But eventually, we're not perfect. We gonna continue to get got. You know what I mean? It's just learning from it. That's all. That's all.
I tell everybody I got
Well, you know what
before.
it is? It's part of it is like I agree with OW. You can at least reduce your losses. Maybe they might get the credit card, maybe they might get the debit card. You can shut that shit off within a few minutes, and it's there if you keep your wits about you. But if you got like a lot of fancy stuff, you don't lock it up. That's what I was gonna say. So I use the Masterlock portable safe because I found out recently that any hotel, anybody could have the master combination of that safe, whether it's an Airbnb or a hotel, and they could take a shit out at any time, which sometimes those inside jobs happen at hotels or even Airbnbs. And then second of all, if you got like a little Masterlock safe, like you can buy it at Amazon for like $15-20. I think it's even less than that, but at least you can, the combination. You can stick your passport in there. You can stick some of your money in there, maybe a watch or something like that. You buy more than one, but at least you know that nobody else got the combination to that except for you, unless you give it away. But you know what I'm saying?
Can't they
So
just
that's
walk
one
away
way you
with this
protect
shit?
yourself.
I mean, like, can't they just walk away with it? I heard one guy say he hooks it to the refrigerator. I mean, all you need is some wire cutters, huh? I mean,
It does, but but you can take that safe and lock it inside something as well, a suitcase, another another bag or something, to put that bag away and stuff like that, and then lock that up in another cabinet or something like that. I mean, it's more like the thing is, you can't necessarily stop someone from taking this shit, but you can slow them down for taking this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so at least you get a chance to catch up on them. That's all about any security, any safe's really designed to do is slow down the person. But because now we can use rare earth magnets to open up a safe and shit like that, like an electronic safe. But you just want to slow them down because you want to make the thief, sort of like it would take them too much time because the thief usually wants to get in and out, right? They want the quick hit. So if it took them a little bit, an hour, half an hour to get through your shit just to get that, then they're not going to want to bother with it. I mean, if everything's out and in the open, if your bags are on the open, sure, they can just roll them out of there. But like I said, you could probably be drugged and robbed at that point. So then it wouldn't be much of an effort to shift your shit anyways, but that's okay. You're just trying to slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a girl in your room, you're hanging out, you're having a party or something, at least they can't easily grab your shit, right? It's not out in the open. It's not right in front of them. You know what I'm
saying? Mostly money. TV says, he said, sadly enough, sisters are the ones here doing most of the robbing. Oh my God. Oh, man. Why am I not surprised? Douglas Anderson says, I say anybody can get got as far as a chica trying to beat you for your dollar, beat you for your stash. Then that I agree to. If she is determined, she can beat you. T History says, shine to the chat, bro. OW, shout out to you too. And fellas, we're gonna do closing comments right now. We're running up on the 2-hour mark. We're getting pretty damn close to it. I don't want to run it that much over. Whoever wants to go first, y'all can go ahead and take it away. And you can roll from there.
Well, Nick's our host. I'll let him.
You got all that extra.
What's that? You want? Okay. The only thing I would say is, yeah, exactly. Like, are you talking about? Don't bring all your shit with you. You don't need to bring with you. Colombians get jacked. They get robbed as well. With that Tinder situation, the Facebook or the social media situation, don't be trying to run somebody over to your place late at night. No really security's around. Nobody else is around, and you don't have any, like, you don't really know the person and stuff. Try to do shit during the day. If you're trying to meet these girls on Tinder, meet them at a cafe or something like that, get to know them, see what's up with them. Make sure you know how old they are, make sure they're legit. Like I said, that they got to have that cedula, some kind of form of ID. That's a picture ID, government issued ID. So you know what's up with them. So you have an idea who you're dealing with, because criminal rings do work together, and they use the girls as fronts. And that has happened to guys. I mean, I'm not saying, and that is not like from the experience I've heard of other guys, I thought a lot of, that's Bernardunga, drugging, robbing shit was a myth, but no, it's happening. I've met 4 or 5 people out here. And then Laureles, which when you're talking Laureles, it's pretty quiet. It's kind of retiree. There's a little party stuff going on, but this isn't like Poblado, so if that can happen here, it can happen a lot of places in Colombia. The other thing I would say is, like you say, don't bring a lot of fancy stuff with you, a lot of expensive stuff. Insure your shit too. So if you get shit gets stolen, your phone gets stolen, whatever, you can at least insure it and have it easily replaced, or your computer or whatever, especially if it's stuff you need for work. You know what I'm saying? That's my final suggestion or comment.
All right. Well, of course, to add on to what Nick said, 100%. And also too, please, don't come out here using USD. If you're gonna do that, stay in the US, and be careful. Clean, use full Clorox, 100% bleach. Make sure your mess is at home clean before you travel out the US. And like I said, don't just be careful. Because at the end of the day, us as travelers, we all represent, one group, one fam. So that's what I gotta say.
Appreciate those comments there. And this just caught my eye. I was about to do a closing statement, but this caught my eye. Brother Douglas Anderson says Colombia seems way more dangerous than DR. Brother Anderson, maybe, but this is just my opinion about this. I think oh Lord, I can't get the words out. I'm sorry, brother. The crime, that's what I'm trying to say, the crime in Colombia is more publicized than it is in DR. And make no mistake, that's not by chance. DR, I don't know if you remember back in the days, they had this big thing going on with the alcohol and stuff, with like murking people. DR went out of their way to sweep that shit under the rug. Why? Because Dominican Republic relies heavily on tourism and imports. So for them, it isn't like their top priority to put out all of their, let's just say, dirty laundry with crime, so to speak. They actually have an incentive not to put that shit out there, because if people don't come there, if you think back about it, what was the first country to open back up that needed tourism? DR. Fucking Colombia held out for months and months on end. They actually had, they were suffering here, but it's not like the Dominican Republic. You could think about DR itself. 80% of what they do is like it's a tourism based. It's a fucking island out in the middle of the fucking ocean. So I'm not so quick to agree with you on that. I just think that maybe it's more publicized. You have more access to what's going on in Colombia. They're just putting it out there. But I know, because I've been in DR. I've been in DR several times. I've been in Brazil several times. The only thing that I give a up on DR for having, they actually have tourist police in DR that Colombia doesn't. If they do have tourist police here in Colombia, I don't know about them. I haven't heard about it. I've been here about 20 times now. I think I lost count after 16. It may be more than that. I don't know, but in that aspect, yeah, I just think it's more publicized for us here in Colombia. That's why we're like, oh, it's terrible in Colombia, because we hear about it all the time. But in DR, Gringo got knocked off. Let's not tell anybody about that. We got flights coming in. They booking up the hotels. We gonna shut the fuck up. So I just think, that's just my opinion. If you want to get like some more like on the ground information, I would actually get in touch with a Dominican who lives there, and they can tell you about the crime that goes on there. But I don't know. That's just in my mind how I'm thinking if I'm going. But closing comments. Man, why y'all Negroes going out there with all that extra? You don't need all that. I've been coming out here for almost 3 years now. You know what I'm saying? What I never saw? I never saw a Colombian riding down the street with sound, with TVs in the back of his fucking headrest, with 22s on his motherfucking truck. I ain't never seen none of that shit. Them Colombians don't need none of that shit to get no pussy out here. Matter of fact, the moto dude who dropped your girl off at the hotel that you was smashing, you was paying for, he was fucking for free. You don't need all that shit, man. Man, leave that stuff at home. And I'm not saying to be sarcastic, it's for your own good. You need to come out here with, you bring in some decent clothes, some soap to wash your ass, all your little jewelry, your $1,200 phones, all your little bling and stuff that you need to attract them fat ass, overweight ass women out there in the matrix. You don't need that shit here. There's an abundance of beautiful women here. They got so many beautiful women in this motherfucker that they don't even think they're beautiful. There's so many of them. You know, they're in constant competition. So you don't need all that extra. You know what's going to help you here? It's not the shining. A, learn the language. B, learn the salsa. Those are the two things that you could learn, that you come here, if that's your primary goal, is to meet a nice lady, or to get gain access to some fresh snacks. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that you could use that's not going to get you robbed, that could work for you here in Colombia. DR, I don't know. That place there, that's little America right there. I can't even, I don't even want to talk about that right now.
I gotta say this. I actually disagree, Douglas Anderson, on this, because I do feel that DR is a little bit more dangerous than Colombia. I think Colombia, well, let's be real, all countries are going to be dangerous. I just want to add this 30-second real quick. You know, here's the thing. As a traveler, wherever you go, you're going to have danger. There's going to be danger wherever you go. It is the individual that makes the choice of your knowledge and experience, and to know where you need to go and where to stay around. You know, yes, we all going to eventually go through that. But if you stay in the right areas, the right tourist areas, you should be fine. So I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you know, but you know, that's something I never researched. You know, so he may have a point, but I just know, as far as me, when I go online,
here's a point. But what I'm saying, but my thing is that, you know, when you say Colombia, because dangerous can be on so many different levels. You know, dangerous as in getting killed, dangerous as in you step foot off the plane, you can get shot. I mean, anything can happen. We just don't know the level of danger he was referring to. You know, he just says it seems it's more dangerous than the DR. In what way? What way are we talking?
I just think he's talking about crime in general, because we've been talking about escopamine. We've been talking about people who've been getting robbed out here. They could take $100,000 from you, boys. People walking down the street getting these chains snatched and stuff like that. But see, a lot of that is in the media, so we have access to it. But a lot of things that happen in DR, we don't have access to that. I mean, if there is, it ain't like motherfuckers, you know, putting it out there. We don't know about it, you know. But that's just like things in Chicago back in the States or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Every time you turn your TV on, it's there. It's being force fed down your throat, so you have no option but to know what's going on in Chicago, right? But yet and still, they got just as many. They got a lot of motherfuckers getting killed in Baltimore too, and some of these other little smaller states. But it's not being publicized, so you don't know about it. You know, it's not being put out there in the media. You know, so that's why I was thinking that with Colombia, because a lot of times, all through social media, they're always talking about how bad Colombia is. It's like, God damn, you go there, you're gonna fucking die. You know, but if you go to DR, you're gonna be all right. It's a happy little tropical island. And what stuck out about that, I remember it was about 2 or 3 years ago. They was having the alcohol scandal out there, and it was going on, and the people in the country was just trying to, well, I'm not gonna say the people, I'm gonna say the government. You know, they were just trying to sweep that shit under the rug. Oh, it's an isolated incident. Oh, it didn't happen. But you got motherfuckers driving off the cliff, dying left and right, you know. And when it got out, they had to do damage control, you know. But that's just my opinion, you know. So I think that's why the brother said that, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna add something to that though, like to so there's a blog, a website, that the guy has a list of all the murders that happen in the DR of tourists or expats that are on the DR. So a lot that doesn't get reported. There's home invasions, there's murders, there's all kinds of shit that happen to tourists out there. Especially expats living out there. So because, you know, the problem a lot of people do is they get into DR, because DR is pretty mountainous and jungle-like. It's got like jungle terrain. So what the RCMP officer told me too is that he said the Hells Angels guys go out there and they, let's say they were wanted for crimes in Canada. These criminals in Canada go out to the DR because they can't get extradited. I don't know if they changed that recently, but they would go out to the DR because they can't get extradited. But he says also there's a lot of dead bodies, he said, in the DR because they'll off somebody that they know, somebody that's one of their enemies. These guys will go out to the DR to kill, they'll knock the guy off and just stay there because he says they can't get extradited for the murder. And he said we got a lot of dead bodies out there, but we can't exhume them. We can't return them back to Canada because there's no extradition treaty between Canada and the DR. So you do have to be careful in DR because there's some shady characters out there, some real lethal criminals, some murderers, and
Damn.
that shit just doesn't get reported. He says, he was telling me that happens out there. It just doesn't hit the news. Like you say, Colombia gets more of the exposure because of Pablo Escobar and the history, right? The DR is trying to be the happy tropical paradise, the tourist pleasure capital. But it's true though. You got Club Med out there. You've got Cabaret, Punta Cana, you got all these all-inclusive resorts. You got the college kids going out there for spring break. Does the DR really want tourists? Like you said, you have that alcohol situation. They gotta make everything nice and pretty again, just to make sure people feel safe, comfortable going out there. But that's what I was gonna say with the DR. Like I said, the Hells Angels have a pretty big operation out there because there are parts of the DR where it's just mountains, it's jungle. They can throw you off in the bushes, bury you. Nobody can find you. So
Nick said that shit easy. Off you, throw you in the bushes. No one to find you. It's like, damn, Nick. That's bad business, therefore. Good Lord. Oh my goodness, man. But yeah, man. That's the only point right there we was making, bro. But I can say this. I've been to all three of those countries, and I didn't feel. Let me choose my words correctly here. I didn't feel as if I was in danger, immediate danger, in none of those places that I went to. So that's.
But I will say one thing though is that so if a woman's going to get you here in Columbus, she'll probably shoot your ass. But if a woman's going to get you in the DR, she'll take the steady on you.
Whoa! Back up, Nick. They gonna shoot you here. Oh, they can't afford bullets in the DR, so they'll stab you there. Okay, got it.
Did you ever see? So there was the whole thing, and I still got the viral video of that shit, where the one girl was arguing with the one other girl in Sosua, and she let that girl up. She sliced her like a side of beef, man. That shit was raw. Down to the bone with that friggin' machete. And a couple of strikes with that machete. I was like, I don't know. I think I'd rather take the bullet.
I ain't gonna lie.
When a crazy Dominican chick comes after you with that.
I'll take a bullet too.
Actually, you know what though? The other story is, I don't know if you remember Cheers Sosua. So one of the guys who was the Canadian guy, was the owner of it like a couple of years back, had an argument with one of the partners in the business. So he pushed the Dominican guy's wife down. Guess what the Dominican guy brought out when he was ready to settle that argument? A big ass machete.
Oh my God.
Machete. A Dominican with a machete is like a samurai with a sword in Japan, man.
They made that movie Machete. They
arms and legs if they start bringing that shit up against you.
You fucking right. Like I thought it was fucking cliche, like because they made a movie called that shit, like Machete 1, Machete Strikes Back. That shit is not fucking cliche. They will machete your ass. They got stones. They sharpen that shit up, man.
Wait. Let's be real for a minute.
Yeah, run the other way. When the Dominican got machete, forget it. The gun is better than the machete.
Well, let me tell you something. Wait a minute. Actually, going back to what Nick said, I think I'd rather get shot than to have you, slice me with a machete. Put me out of my fucking misery now. So I don't want to have no pain. Just shoot me. Just shoot me. Put me out. Put me in the fucking grave. Throw me in the bush. I don't know what to tell you. But this just dispose of me, because at that point it's torture.
Well, if it's real sharp, you're not going to feel the initial slice. You know what I'm saying? Because those nerve endings are going to be cut the fuck off. So it might not be that bad for you,
when he was talking about the dude that pushed the wife down and that motherfucker fought the machete, man, just shoot me. Don't slice me. Just shoot me. Just dispose of me. I don't even want to experience it. And we're gonna be honest. I'll ask you and Nick. I'll ask this question. Who do you think between the Colombians or the Dominicans that can give the most torture? If you had to say,
no comment.
The most torture. What do you mean, like in terms of like getting at you and just like cutting you up, or just like messing you up?
Robbery wise. Like I'm just saying, like you see how Colombians get robbed from the motorcycles, and then the DR, they do the same. But do you think that there's any mercy on either side? If you had
mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy.
I mean, the only problem here that the guys got to realize, and we can go back to my story about the guy in Bogota. There was a Japanese student that was out here, and it was you can find that on the internet. the Porky got shot and killed because he didn't want to give up. I guess the guys had taken his iPad, his iPhone, whatever, and he chased after them, and they were on a motorcycle. So when he caught up to them, they just shot and killed his ass. So guys got to realize if they put a grip on your shit and take your shit, just don't fight with them out here. You know what I'm saying? Because these are narco gangs, right? And it's still the Pablo Escobar era is over, but the violence of these gangs in Bejo and these other places in the city still exists. There's 250 different criminal gangs out here. That's how many different narco gangs. 250 different criminal gangs in Medellin. This is Medellin. I mean, we're talking Bogota, the capital. So you got to realize that, and most of the guys are operating up in the barrios, right? You know, in the hills and everything. But these neighborhoods and comunas, so like community and stuff, calm down. So we still got a lot of comunas with a lot of gangs in them. And so, you know, if some guys do that to you, like, you just give up your shit and just get new shit, because there's no sense in like them shooting and killing your ass, right? You know, maybe they intend to just wound you, but they might shoot and kill you. And it's happened to more than one tourist out here. So that's what I would say. You know, like, who would? And the other thing is that they do warn you. I never had it happen, but if you're in, you know, bumper to bumper traffic in Colombia and you're in an Uber, roll those windows up, because they say that the guys can come up on motorcycles, stick a knife through an open window or a gun through open windows. Say, give up your shit. No, I'll shoot you. Stab you.
I will defend my honor. He broke out down the street. You know, you on some Last Samurai type shit. You hear me? He dealt with that fucking man. It's fucked up, dude. You dead? Yeah, it's fucked up, man. Right? But you know what? I did meet somebody in DR, and he was an American. Matter of fact, it was at the boathouse, and the guy said that he told a story, and it was surreal. I caught chill going down my spine. He came from America, and he met a Dominican lady there. He married her, bought her a nice ring. All right. He wasn't rich, but he was one of those well-to-do white guys. You could tell he came from money. But just to fast forward the story, he was living there for 3 years. So on the 4th year, they were married. She was out in front of the boathouse, maybe a block or two down away from the beach. The guys approached her. This goes back to what Nick was saying. They will rob their own. You know, they spare no expense on anyone's ass. Well, she didn't want to give up that wedding ring. It was very sentimental to her. You know, she gave up everything else, but then they went for the ring, and they, you know, pretty much said, you know, no or whatever. Well, they cut her finger off, took the ring, and they killed her. And his story was, you know, he was in the process of selling everything. He said he was trying to stay there, but he said everywhere he went, it reminded him of her, and it was just becoming overwhelming for him. So when I met this guy, I think I was in, I want to say, my second trip to DR. I don't know. I done been there so many. Anyway, long story short, he was American, Dominican wife, robbed by other Dominicans, finger cut off, killed, finger removed. And it's like, this goes back to what Nick was saying. You know, if they will do that to their own, they will spare no expense on your ass. So the word mercy is just non-existent.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not going to make it seem like, oh my God, Colombia, Dominican Republic's totally evil and dangerous. No, it's not. But if you get in that situation, because this kid was the Japanese kid was, I think, it's late at night, and there was this, but he was like, he was, you know, by himself and stuff. So, you know, you in that situation, you got to make the sensible move just to let that stuff go. And if it's late at night, especially you by yourself and you got nobody to help you, you know, you got to just let it go. And it's better to let the stuff go, whether you're in the DR or any country, than and you're all gunned. Literally, you can be literally outgunned, or they can have. And that was the funniest thing. But it was just like, to go back to another machete story.
I wish them bitches would come to fucking New Orleans.
The first time I was in with my buddy here, and he lives here. He's from Medellin, but he's a Colombian guy, and he was like, we were out there, and we were out in El Centro, and you know where we were in El Centro, you know, like Roadual and all this, you know, spots where the girls are. So we saw one guy. This is the funny thing. We saw one guy, and he was having an argument with another guy. And, you know, he had this machete on him, and he was going to get at this guy because maybe, you know, there's a lot of druggies out there in that spot. And then the police were around there, and then my friend said, yeah, they stopped the guy, they just told him to go the other direction, but they didn't take the machete off of him.
What?
The police let the guy keep his machete.
Oh my God!
The cops didn't want to mess with the machete.
You fucked up.
That shows you what beats a gun is the machete, man.
Oh man, no, you gotta be. The madness gotta stop, man. I didn't know, man. I see somebody walking down the street with machete, man. I'm just gonna politely.
He was, man. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And so of course we just wisely just kept going the other direction. Like, fuck that.
And
The
Machete
cops
ain't no
didn't want
old
to take.
man.
They didn't want to attempt to take that machete off his ass. They said, "No, just dude, just go the other way." They didn't want to deal
Just
with
go the
your ass.
other way. I don't even want to deal with you, you know. Because he get one swing off, you know, you made for life, man. You know, you try and pull that pistol out and
That's
cock it or
right.
whatever,
That's right.
your fucking
Yeah,
arm gonna be laid out on one of them fucking
somebody
taxis
gonna be
out there.
might get hurt. Yeah, if he's all high and all hopped up on shit. Because there's a lot of druggies out there, so you never know. But he had that, and it was a big ass machete. Oh, I was like, yeah, we're going the other way.
Man, that's
That was in
that Jason
downtown Medellin
Voorhees.
late at night, in El Centro.
I done seen Sprungers get hit with tasers, bro, and that shit they'd take and pull that shit out and keep on swinging. But them boys get hopped up on that heroin out there in that fucking boot, man. I mean, they like invincible. They got to bring them in certain wards, special wards in the fucking in the fucking central lockup, because they can't put them with other people.
Well, you're not going to feel like with certain drugs, you know how it is. You're not going to feel no pain. You're out of your mind. With bath salts and all this other shit they got out there, you could be just rambling and go like a maniac. So, man or woman, there's nothing's going to bring you down until maybe if they get Narcan or something in you, something like that, or you just conk out. But that's true.
I see motherfucker get beat to a standstill and hop right back up and start swinging again. You think this motherfucker was dead? Like you done beat a dead horse. That boy was off that motherfucking heroin. That nigga was invincible, Nick. I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. They whoop his ass with sticks, chains, kick him, steel-toed boots. That bitch laid still for a second, hop back up and stole on somebody. I'm like, God damn, what is he on? Tasers and everything, Right there, man. Go ahead and shoot that motherfucker, man. Get him up out of here, But I just remember that shit from back in the day when I was in Central Lockup. They bring them boys in there on that heroin. They be in that bit like the Incredible Hulk, bro. Can't do nothing with them. You gotta let them come down. You gotta let them start puking and shit. Then you can go in there and handle them. But that's a different story for a different day. We over 2 hours now, fellas. I know I could sit here, I could talk all night long, but you know how that is. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I got another one I'm gonna do. It then got a little late now. And I don't know if you've been watching YouTube lately, Nick, but they got this saying going around talking about winter is coming, all this type of shit. I have a different opinion. I don't think winter is coming. I think it's going to be a mild fall and it's going to be hot girl summer all over again. But that's a different topic I'm going to get on a little bit later. But to all the fellas, all y'all in the chat, bro, I appreciate y'all coming in. Nick, I really appreciate you coming in here, big homie. Like I say, man, look, you was one of my first mentors when I came out here to Medellin. Nothing but love to you. My homie. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta Johnny LA, I appreciate you having on, bro. You sharing your stories and whatnot. He's here right now with me. And we didn't all we met at Sweet Georgia Cafe. I'm gonna give a shameless plug to the big homie. Sweet Georgia Cafe. If you bring your dog ass down here, you gotta go over to the Sweet Georgia Cafe and get some of them pig knuckles, them hall malls, and the good old pancakes and breakfast and stuff he got going on over there. And he gonna be doing a grill next weekend. He told us didn't he say next weekend, Nick?
Yes, sir.
We talked to Rob today.
Yeah, he did.
That's yes, sir. He did.
Yeah, he gonna be smoking some chicken, some salmon patties, all that good stuff back there. So
y'all
come down here.
All that good stuff. Yes.
Yeah. All that good all that cooking and stuff. He got some healthy food over there too, because I had some vegetables over there. Oh my God. Man, let me tell you, I had got some grilled vegetables from that man the other morning. You was over there, you saw them grilled vegetables.
Sure did.
Night. So if you're coming down here too, and you're trying to maintain your diet or whatnot, you're worried about your physique, he got that for that ass too. But that's my closing statements for the night. I appreciate y'all having y'all in here. If y'all didn't hit the like button while y'all was in here on your way out, just go ahead on, Markan, touch that motherfucking like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. And I just might come back with another live. But y'all be easy. Appreciate y'all. Later.
Peace.